been said, there's no place like home, and for the Davidson Warriors, they can now say it for real as they christen their new stadium tonight. Coming in to play spoiler are the Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguars. They got the win last year, but tonight history will be made as the Davidson Warriors seek to pick up their first ever win in their brand new stadium, and we're ready to bring it to you right now for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening, I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. We're glad you're with us. And Corey, they like to say, it ain't nothing like something brand new.
Absolutely. You look at this beautiful facility here on the campus of W.P. Davidson High School. What better way to bring it in on a crystal clean Friday night? The turf is not going to be a problem as far as field conditions because we do have that beautiful turf, but a tremendously built and wonderful facility here on the campus.
We are excited. We're inside the press box here, inside the key word, Corey, because typically we're on the rooftop at a lot of the high schools in the Mobile County area. But for Davidson, we're inside the press box. And you know what, Corey? There's no better time to get to your checklist because this is a brand new stadium, and we got a new season coming up here for the Davidson Warriors.
Looking forward to this action tonight. When you look at the Davidson Warriors, establish the run. That's going to be key for Rick Cawley and his team. We'll go into more about how important the run game is for the Davidson Warriors. Winning the turnover and takeaway battle. That's going to be critical for the Davidson Warriors squad this 2023 season. And spear in space. What do I mean by that? You have to make sure that you tackle and wrap up to the ground correctly. Hillcrest, sustain and convert on third down. That's going to be critical. 1 out of 11 a week ago. That's not going to get it. You have to improve that this week. Flip the field on special teams and have gap control at the line of scrimmage for the Jaguars.
All right, there's Corey's checklist. Later on in the ball game, we'll take a look back at that again and see if what you predicted came true tonight. It did come true today. We had some rain in the Mobile area, and then right after that, we had some more humidity. So, Corey, it's pretty humid. So let's check in with our third member of the team, Kimberly Dunn, for the BSN weather forecast.
Hey guys, it's feeling great on the field right now tonight, but you are right about that humidity. It's double what it was last week. We have 75% humidity starting out this game tonight, and it's only going to continue to go up because our rain chances are going up as well. Hopefully that rain stays away until the game is over, but at 10 p.m. we are looking at like 47% chance of rain. But it feels nice and cool on the field right now. It's only 82 degrees for kickoff time, and it's only going to go down from there, so the boys should be feeling good tonight.
All right, Kimberly, we appreciate that. We'll be checking back in with her later. Corey, it's time to get down to the nuts and bolts of the game with your threaded fasteners impact players.
For the Davidson Warriors, it's going to start with number 9, Derek DJ Butler. He is a senior for the Davidson Warriors, verbally committed to Coastal Carolina, one of the most underrated running backs in the entire state of Alabama. Defensive back, Trey Clark III. He's a senior defensive back. He will bring the thunder to you. He is on the backside of that defense calling signals for this defensive squad. Hillcrest, their impact players. You have defensive lineman Robert Baldwin. He leads this team in tackling 1 week ago, and then you have a combo player playing outside linebacker and defensive end Jameer Sharp. 15 tackles a week ago. Looking forward to seeing him tonight also.
All right, Cole, we appreciate that. Your threaded fasteners impact player solutions from the ground up since 1979. Got to thank Threaded Fasteners. And one of your impact players is our spotlight player for tonight, Derek DJ Butler. This guy is committed to Coastal Carolina, as you talked about, Corey. So we're going to keep our eye on him tonight to track his progress and look at what he's done so far last year. Over 1,300 yards rushing, 7.3 yards per rush. The kid had 19 touchdowns. Corey, I'm with you. I think he's one of the most underrated backs in the state of Alabama.
1 week ago, Davidson had their jamboree game against Baldwin County here in a half. 193 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns just in a half against the Baldwin County Tigers. That'll show you his ability. We'll see that on display tonight.
That's why he's our spotlight player tonight. All right, we're going to flip the coin, come back and see who's going to win, and we'll give you the kickoff up next for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools. What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public School.
High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
Mobile County Public Schools, the place that has it all. We have 90 schools that include rural, urban, and suburban schools of various sizes. We are also home to Alabama's first public school. We welcome you to come join our winning team. Our district is led by the 2020 Superintendent of the Year, Mr. Cresel D. Threadgill. Our teachers are leaders in their profession who are afforded numerous professional development opportunities. Our principals are collaborators and encouragers. Our schools are leading in innovation and instruction. And most importantly, our students who are learning today, leading tomorrow, are simply the best. If you want to live in a historically rich city near beautiful beaches with superb Southern hospitality, we invite you to come teach with the best, Team MCPSS.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
We welcome you back to Warrior Stadium on the campus of Davidson High School. It is the first home game in this stadium. Corey, we just had the coin toss, and a very special young man was out there flipping the coin.
Former principal of over 36 years here at WP Davidson High School, Mr. Lewis Copeland, retired in 2018, and he has an opportunity to see the christening of this new stadium, a very special game day coin that he was able to flip, and I know he's excited, he and his family both, being here in attendance tonight.
That is awesome. Back to receive the kick for Hillcrest-Evergreen. Davidson won the toss, so they declined. Timothy Gray and Kendrick Richardson back there to receive for the Jaguars. As we await the kick from Morale McGill, our first kickoff officially here in Warrior Stadium. You talked about it. They had a jamboree game last week, but that one does not count, Corey.
Replacing Jonah DeLonga as well, the longtime kicker, moved on to UAB.
The Jaguars a bit confused there. That's a live ball. I believe it is recovered by Davidson. So Davidson picks up on special teams, and they recover this ball at about the 26-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Let me flip my flip chart because the Warriors are ready to get into the end zone already, Corley Bounty.
Great hustle on special teams. Taven Mims with the fumble recovery on the kickoff. And as, again, you mentioned, that's an early turnover that they needed to control as far as my Corey's checklist. Control the takeaways, well, you just have +1 now.
There you can see the starting lineup for the Davidson Warriors. getting his first start at quarterback for the Warriors as they get the pass out immediately to DJ Butler. They catch him as he gets into the scoring zone. Quarterback Hudson Spivey, he's a baseball player, 6'1". He's a pocket passer, but look at this Davidson offense trying to score already, and they are within the scoring zone. Ball being placed at the 9-yard line. 1st and goal for the Warriors.
Out of the shotgun set, give it back to Butler. The Butler's going to do it, Al.
They toss it out to Butler. He's on the move. DJ Butler trying to put in the first score in the history of Warrior Stadium, and he does it. An 8-yard run for DJ Butler. That's why this guy is our spotlight player tonight.
Without question, Al, you see his ability here on the first 2 plays. Davidson able to capitalize, get 6 points off of the turnover early. The Butler did it from 8 yards out early. We'll be calling his name quite often tonight, folks.
On for the PAT, Riley McGill, who just had a nice strategic kickoff for the Warriors to get us going. One late guy runs in on special teams. McGill's kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, in less than 29 seconds, the Davidson Warriors score the first touchdown in the history of Warrior Stadium.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
Davidson with the quick score to get things going. I said it at the opening, Corey. It's nothing like something brand new, and the Warriors are ready to stretch it on out and get those shoes broken in, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, something that is not brand new is Derek Butler and him finding the end zone. Last year, 16 total rushing touchdowns, over 1,338 yards.
Kendrick Richardson with the return up to about the 22-yard line. Now we'll take a look at that Hillcrest Jaguars offense. The Jaguars start junior Kevin Porter at quarterback. He's a converted wide receiver and possesses dual threat capability. This is an up-tempo offense featuring a slew of running backs. Getting the start tonight is senior Timothy Gray. When Hillcrest passes, look for the seniors Duke Watson and Jordan Bonner to create separation and haul in some catches. The offensive line is a young group and only averages 256 yards across the front. Porter with a handoff up the middle with the run for the Jaguars. Great run, about 8 yards on that carry right there.
Kevin Joseph, the 5'7", 160-pound junior with great explosiveness in the hole. Rushed for -1 yards 1 week ago against T.R. Miller, but here's quick tempo by the Jaguars.
We talked about that quick tempo. Back to Joseph once again. He picks up the first down. Let's take a look at the Davidson Warriors defense. They play a 4-3 with junior defensive end Deshaun Little bringing heat from the edge. Up the middle, the Jaguars may be stopped by linebacker Chad Glover. And if they decide to attack the secondary, seniors Quintarius Wheeler and Trey Clark will be ball hawking. These two got a very high up-tempo Warriors defense that averages 230 pounds. The ground game continues for the Jaguars as they are pounding the rock right now on Davidson with the carry right there, Timothy Gray.
Timothy Gray, 5'7", 165-pound senior. And on this drive, the tempo I love by offensive coordinator DJ Darowich.
Told you they were up-tempo. That's what Coach Justin Norad told me. They're a young group, but they like to play with some tempo. 3 runs back to back to back. About 4-yard pickup right there for the Jaguars. Second and about 7 coming up here.
Well, when you're getting positive yardage on first down, whether it's 1 or 2 yards at a time, you're able to go ahead and reevaluate. But the tempo here early by the Jaguars is something that I really love.
And one of the Warriors jumps off sides. I believe that may have been Deshaun Little, one of the guys I just talked about, of the Warriors defense. That's going to be an easy 5 yards for Hillcrest to pick up here.
Encroachment, defense.
I'm sure Rick Carley does not want to give it to him that way, Corey.
No, 2nd down and 3 yards to go
on
now.
The defense, plan 2.
2nd and short coming up here for Hillcrest. You may hear us say Hillcrest-Evergreen a lot tonight, but they are from Evergreen, called the Jaguars. But they kind of remind me of the mindset of Theodore with the red, black, and white, Corey.
Great color scheme by the Jaguars. 4-3 defense being shown by this Davidson Warrior John Williams defensive squad.
Handoff once again up the middle goes Gray. I believe he's going to be about a yard short for the 1st down, so it'll be 3rd and short coming up here for the Jaguars. John B., our white hat tonight, assisted by Clint Bredstone, Bridenstine, Chip Crumbs, Carlos Fortune, Kim Gorham, Claude Moffitt, and Royce Roberson, our officiating crew tonight. I hope that's not a horse collar against the Warriors.
No,
I don't see any flags.
No horse collar there. Just really caught him right on the edge of the shoulder pad, not on the inside of it around the neck area. But look at this tempo here, probably trying to go so quick. It takes them less than 15 seconds to get to the line of scrimmage.
Gray checks out after picking up that 1st down. Ball at the 37-yard line of Davidson. Hillcrest on the move here. First ever ball game at Warrior Stadium, and look at that pass all day. Pass incomplete. Intended for Omarius Northern, but a flag on the play. We might have some PI. Correction, Jordan Bonner, the intended receiver there.
And if you're the defender, what you have to do is you have to turn your head around and make a play on the football. Unfortunately for the Davidson Warriors, Isaiah Garman was not able to turn his head around. That's going to be an easy penalty call for the referees to go ahead and throw that yellow flag.
And Bonner actually waited on that pass from Porter. If we look on the replay here, he was wide open for a while.
You see the defensive back not turning his head to make a play on the ball, and Northern does a good job being aggressive. Hillcrest in business, 1st and 10.
So that was Northern intended receiver, not Bonner. Kevin Porter looks over to the sidelines. As I said, he's a converted wide receiver. He's got time. Dumps it off, incomplete to the intended receiver. Could not get that pass completed to Demarion Watson. 2nd down and 10 coming up here for the Jaguars.
And one thing about an incomplete pass, you can't get back into that pace that you want to. So Davidson, we'll see if they're going to be ready to line up defensively to try to stop this high tempo offense.
Handoff. Joseph with the carry, picks up about 5 or 6. I'm impressed with the running of Kevin Joseph so far tonight, Corey. He's been doing an outstanding job for the Jaguars.
Take a look at his feet, but Al, I'm going to say it again and again and again. On this continuous drive here for the Jaguars, on this critical 3rd down, they've done a good job of establishing tempo.
Now Timothy Gray just to the left of Porter. Play action, they're trying to flush out Porter. Overthrows his receiver once again, trying to get it to Omarius Northern. 3rd down coming up here for the Jaguars. Davidson trying to hold and not give up the 6.
Good job staying home by the secondary. And now it's quickly 4th down, Al. You have to make a decision here whether you want to go for it. You're deep in Davidson Warriors territory. You're really inside the 18-yard line officially. So here it is, 4th down and 4.5 yards to go.
Literally in no man's land. I think Coach Norr is going to call a timeout right here with 8:02 remaining in the 1st quarter. Good decision coming up, 4th and 5. You're kind of sitting in no man's land. He told me his PAT, his kicker, is Kevin Joseph. His range is about 25 to 30 yards. I think we're just outside of his range right now.
I say you go ahead and roll the dice because you're at the 18-yard line of your opponent. You have nothing to hold back from right here except getting a goose egg on the scoreboard. So why not go ahead and go for it?
We'll take a quick break and come right back for more action.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
4th and 5 coming up for the Jaguars. 10 seconds remaining on the play clock. Porter looking over to the sideline, taking his time. I think they're trying to draw Davidson off. No, they do snap it. And he is sacked by the Warriors. A gang tackle sack led by Deshaun Little and the crew.
Great discipline by this Davidson defense, not going for the hard count. Deshaun Traylor with a huge stop along with a little help from one of his teammates. Deshaun Little, 6'3", 220-pound sophomore. Turnover on down. So that drive that was probably 8 or 9 plays for the Jaguars comes to an end in the red zone with no points on the board.
Drive started on their own 21-yard line and ended on the 18 of Davidson. No points to show. A nice drive by the Jaguars, but they could not cash in. So now we'll get our second look at the Davidson offense coming up here.
Al, that was a 10-play drive that came up empty for the Jaguars.
Hudson Spivey hands off to DJ Butler. He gets a couple yards. Let's take a look, and the ball is out. Let's see if it's recovered by Hillcrest. We're about to take a look at the Jaguars defense, and we could have our first turnover, our second turnover of the night, Corey.
DJ Butler wants to say he was down, but the officials threw out the beanbag anyway. We'll be able to have the benefit of instant replay to see if he was actually down, but that's the essential of, here it is, the handoff is clean. DJ Butler bobbing and weaving through the players, and it really was down.
I think his knee was down.
And it's one of those tough situations for the officials when they do throw out that beanbag. Hillcrest did a wonderful job. As we look at that, clearly down was DJ Butler, but nonetheless, it will go as a turnover for the Davidson Warriors. There's nothing you can do to review this play because it's not
There's no replay. There's no replay here
not eligible for review
at Warrior Stadium. So all we can do is flip our flip chart back to Hillcrest-Evergreen. Johnny on the spot recovering that fumble ball on the 28-yard line of Davidson.
I know DJ Butler wishes this was the playoffs because that's not where the Davidson Warriors wanted to turn the football over. Right back to the Jaguars' high-octane offense that stalled out on the turnover on downs. We'll see if the Davidson Warrior defense, led by defensive coordinator John Williams, who has 5 returners on this defensive squad, can rise up to the occasion and get this Hillcrest Jaguar team back off of the field.
Seeming to have a delay here before we resume play.
That's a tough break for DJ Butler because he clearly was pleading with the officials saying that he was down.
And as you can see tonight, it's been all Butler for the Warriors. Porter with time does connect with his receiver. That puts him back into the scoring zone with the reception. Jordan Bonner, and look at that high-tempo offense once again, close to the scoring zone, inside of the red zone, placing the ball at about the 12-yard line coming up here for Hillcrest. 1st and 10. Hand off to Gray. He plows ahead for 3 or 4. The Jaguars trying to get some points right here, Corey.
What'll be interesting to see is we have points off turnovers by both teams possibly here as we're getting close to our 6-minute first official heat timeout. We'll see if the Jaguars are able to punch it in before the official heat timeout.
They can pick up the first down. Nowhere to go for Kevin Porter. We had a breakdown in blocking, and a late flag comes out near the 10-yard line on the home side of Davidson.
Chad Glover, 5'11", 200-pound junior. 30 solo tackles a year ago with 3 sacks. He adds half a sack to that as he shares that one with Deshaun Little.
While the refs talk about it, let's take a look at the Warriors defense. They play a 4-3 junior defensive end. Deshaun Little's going to bring the heat from the edge up the middle. The Jaguars may be stopped by linebacker Chad Glover. You just called his name, Corey. And if they decide to attack the secondary, seniors Quintarius Wheeler and Trey Clark are going to be ball hawking back there. The Davidson defense averages about 230 pounds across the line.
Love when officials get together and discuss to make sure that they do get it correctly. And it's so hard being official here. We encourage anyone who loves the football, and would love to make additional revenue, to go ahead and become an official here in the state of Alabama, no matter what sport you like.
So, Corey, we have a block in the back on the defense, half the distance to the goal. That's a penalty. You don't hear too much blocking the back on the defense.
We weren't able to pick it up there, but it is going to be a fresh second down, and almost you can still pick up a first down off of it because it was from the spot.
It was half the distance, wasn't enough. Porter throws it into the ground, trying to link up with Omarius Northern. It'll be third down and short coming up. I'd say, what, about 3 to 4 yards they need to get to pick up the first down.
Well, what's critical here is for Kevin Porter, he could have taken that and run it in himself. He wanted to go ahead and pass it, but he would have been better off keeping the football and scoring 6 all by himself. And it's just one that shows his unselfishness and his wanting to find the open wide receiver and go through his progressions.
Third down to go. The line to get is the 2-yard line. They're set up at about the 5. So we'll call it 3rd and 3. And I think we may have some clock issues going on, Corey, because we were under 7 minutes approaching 6, and now the clock says 6:47.
The clock is correct. What they're doing is the play clock is what is being discussed right now.
The play clock has not been reset. Now it is operating. Right up the middle goes Timothy Gray, and he plows his way in for a 5-yard score. The Jaguars on the board, our second time tonight, points off turnovers.
Good call by the offense. Good push up front. Zachariah Cobb, Delarian Taylor, Timothy Millender, Amarian Thomas, and Christopher Boykin Jr. And the rest was all churning of the legs by Timothy Gray, pushing himself and propelling himself to 6 for the Jaguars.
Low snap. Joseph's going to pick it up. Cannot convert the extra point. So our score is 7-6 with Davidson on top.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month
has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
Got to thank BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from baseball to cross country and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game. Online at bsnsports.com. Got to thank them for all of our team crew apparel. Also, we want to thank Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So visit our friend Neil Patel at the Greenlight Road Firehouse Subs location. Take a look at that scoring drive right there. 4 plays, 28 yards, only burned 61 seconds off with a 5-yard run by Tim Gray. The Jaguars get their points, Corey.
I can tell you this, the Jags did punch it in, but now offensively for the Davidson Warriors, you bet your bottom dollar that number 9, Derek Butler, is going to be very upset. The ball security is going to be second to none here for the Warriors.
The Warriors almost running to each other right there as they bring it in.
Turnover. That's a turnover.
Oh, that ball is out, and we could have another turnover. One of the up guys took it, Terrence Gray.
The officials talking about it and discussing it now, and Davidson running off the field like it is a turnover.
Right, and Gray's looking in disbelief. The unis tonight kind of looking like the Saints with the black jerseys.
You could hear the oohs and the ahs from the crowd after that hit on the far sidelines located by the Jaguars, and that's another turnover. 6 yards a carry so far, 8 rushes for 45 yards for Timothy Gray, and he's right back on the field. We'll see if this Davidson Warriors team is gassed defensively, because they've been on the field for an extremely long period of time here in the first quarter of action.
We have yet to reach our heat timeout. I wonder if they're going to recognize that now at 6:35, the officials are still discussing matters. But Corey, it does make me wonder, our spotlight player tonight, we're looking at DJ Butler. But right now, Timothy Gray is taking all the spotlight, but not enough room to take from Kimberly Dunn on the sideline. What's going on, Kimberly?
Hey, I'm here with the principal for Davidson, Mr. Richardson. We are so happy to be here tonight on your new field, but I know there's a lot of exciting things going on at Davidson, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We're excited this year. 100% of our IB graduates earned their IB diploma, and we also had over 80 AP scholars this year. We're real proud of our academics, but tonight it's all about athletics.
Yes. And now, has having a new field really helped with the community and just the overall atmosphere that your students are having at their school?
It has. It brings the community together, but it also gives the students something to be proud of. And we've really, like tonight, we brought back the undefeated team from 05. These are things that we have the opportunity to do now that we've never had before. So it's been a long time coming, and we're real proud of this place.
Now, if parents are wanting to learn more about your school or some of the academic programs that you offer, what are some of those programs and where can they find that information?
So we're real proud of our IB program and also our EPIC program, and you can find more information about that on our website, wpdavidson.org.
All right, thank you so much. We look forward to having a great game tonight.
Great, thank you, and go Warriors.
And the Warriors are going at it. Corey, if I'm correct, that was 2 plays, 2 big runs capped off by a 36-yard run, touchdown run by Derek DJ Butler. I think he heard me talking about the other running back.
Well, the more important thing is, before we went to the principal, was they reversed the call on the far sidelines, because initially the hit, we weren't able to get the replay in on time. The officials met together. They changed their decision, giving the ball back to Davidson. Davidson offense trots back out. Terrence Gray on the reverse. The big run by DJ Butler, taking it to the house for 36 yards, his second house call of the night.
I'm Keith Blackwood, your Mobile County District Attorney. I want to remind you about the truancy laws. 5 unexcused absences requires you to attend the early warning truancy program. Failure to attend the early warning truancy program can cause you to appear before a judge in circuit court. We need you to stay in school. This is a serious law, and it needs to be taken very seriously. I wish you and your family a safe, happy, and successful school year.
It's your time, it's your season, and you are made for more. More confidence, more style, and more bling. The Genuine Bling is here to deliver you more bling and more fashion. With new styles added daily, you can shop anytime and look fabulous. Join me, Charmaine Watson, on the $5 Frenzy every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. It's cute, it's fabulous, it's fashionable, it's $5, it's paparazzi.
Hey Alexa, tell me about Mobile County Public Schools.
With 53,000 students in 90 schools, Mobile County Public Schools equips and empowers college and career-ready graduates. Several MCPSS schools are ranked among Alabama's top 10. Yearly, graduating students earned about $110 million in college scholarships and 10,000 career credentials. MCPSS is learning today, leading tomorrow. Does that answer your question?
We welcome you back to Warrior Stadium with a 32-yard touchdown run by DJ Butler. 2 plays, they went 66 yards in 1:35. And Corey LeBounty, that is DJ Butler's second touchdown tonight.
The Butler did it twice, Al.
Butler
He didn't do it once, he did it twice, and he may do it another 3 or 4 times before the night's over with.
We will find out. We saw his parents before the ball game. I said, you guys have the best seats in the house. And then I said, if he has a great game, we may be seeing him Wednesday at the Crichton Optimist Club luncheon for the Player of the Week as Kendrick Richardson is brought down at the 25-yard line. Nice tackle right there by the Warriors.
Spectacular open field special teams tackle by Isaiah Garman, the 5'9", 135-pound junior for the Davidson Warriors. Now, what's important here for this Warriors defensive line is to stop and have gap control here, not allowing Hillcrest to have a lot of success running the football, because you look at passing yardage, Hillcrest really hasn't tried to complete a lot of passes. They've been ground and pound. Once they get past the line of scrimmage, they've been relying on the elite speed.
Hillcrest beat Davidson last year 34-10 in their first ever meeting, but the way this one is sizing up, it may be a scoring battle tonight. Up the middle goes Kevin Joseph, just shredding the defense right there for a 9-yard pickup close to the first down.
Great job by one of our threaded fasteners impact players, Trey Clark III, coming up from his strong safety position, making the hit and the stop for the Davidson Warriors, not before they're able to pick up the first down for the Jaguars.
Al Whedon, Corey LeBounty, Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines, our statisticians China Powell and Matt Moore bringing you the action here from Warrior Stadium, the first ever ball game on the campus here in the new stadium for Davidson. And once again, Joseph with another carry as he gets past the 45. That's enough for a first down.
Clearly down there, the ball does pop out, but not until both knees clearly touch the ground. And it is the ground and pound running game. This Hillcrest offense, 3A Region 1 opponents, they average 20 points per game because they've only played one game, an overtime loss to T.R. Miller.
Timothy Gray trying to weave his way, but no, he is wrapped up. That's a tackle for loss for the Warriors right there.
Jermaine Cromwell from his outside linebacker position, 5'11", 155-pound sophomore, textbook-style tackle, wrapping up and taking the legs out from the runner.
2-yard loss on the play. Second down and 12 coming up here for the Jaguars. Looking to pass. Porter's got some time, and he completes the pass, gets it out to Watson. Gets half of the yards. That gets him close to the midfield stripe, just shy. We'll call it the 49-yard line here on our side.
I mentioned it a week ago. 1 out of 11 on third down conversions for this Jaguar program, something that they must capitalize. Here it is, 3rd and long again.
Watson's second catch tonight.
And by my recall, this is at least the 4th third down that the Jaguars have had in the first quarter of action.
Back to Watson once again. And the Warriors all over him. Clock's going to continue to run. He didn't get out of bounds. They're going to be short about 2 or 3 yards. The line to gain is the Davidson 45. So 4th down coming up here for Hillcrest once again.
You want to flip the field here if you're the head coach of the Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguars. Justin Narrett in his first year as head coach.
He's the play caller, so it's on his shoulders right now. 4th down coming up here for Hillcrest. And we have a stoppage in play. I believe he's going to call a timeout. So Hillcrest uses their first timeout of the ball game with 3:23 remaining here in the first quarter. A beautiful night for football out here. Corey, I can say it. We're kind of just past Midtown, but not exactly full West Side Mobile.
Beautiful facility here at Davidson High School, Al, as you look at this stadium being able to hold close to 4,500 here in this brand new stadium. You look at the turf, and you mentioned the rain earlier today.
Couldn't even tell it.
Not going to be a factor.
Couldn't even tell it.
With the turf and the humidity that Kim mentioned in our BSM weather forecast at the beginning of the game, but what a great job by the student body coming out and supporting this Davidson Warrior program.
Don't forget Monday coming up. If you didn't know, now you know. Labor Day, September 4th, so all schools and offices will be closed. So enjoy your Labor Day, the unofficial end of summer, as we like to call it. But around here, you know, summer could go on into October sometimes, Corey. So Monday is Labor Day, so enjoy your day off.
Jaguars going to go ahead and go, decide not to flip the field. This will get the energy back into this offense if they're able to go ahead and get this stop.
They've been running it consistently. Flushing out to the right. Picks up the first down, Kevin Porter, but a flag comes in from the white hat, and that's the area where we typically recognize holding, unfortunately.
Definitely holding there as the quarterback, Porter, rushed out to the right of the pocket, kind of a little bootleg action by him. And I mentioned earlier, he had a touchdown if he would have gone ahead and used his legs instead of throwing it into the back of the end zone. You can see the quickness and the ability by Porter to run the football.
Former wide receiver converted over to play quarterback. Here's the call. So that's going to push him back 10 yards. And I think we'll definitely see the
on the offense. 4th down.
We'll definitely see the punting crew come out right now. And our first look at Patrick McDonald as he will be punting for Hillcrest. Back to receive is DJ Butler, setting up at his 30-yard line.
We'll see if the Butler can do it on special teams too, Al.
The last time we had Davidson on the broadcast was back in 2021. It was the last game of the season, Davidson and Baker. And boy, Derek Butler had a great night that night. Punt goes straight up, straight back down. Kind of looked like a little Texas chili dip wedge. It is recovered by Davidson at their own 46-yard line. So great field position coming up here for the Warriors as we approach 3 minutes left in the first quarter. And let's see what this Davidson offense is going to put together right here behind play caller, head coach Rick Cawley.
I can tell you what they can put together. Give the ball to number 9 and let the Butler do it again and again and again.
Warriors offense runs out onto the field. It's been all running. I believe, Corey, they've thrown the ball once tonight. And, of course, they threw it to DJ Butler as he flares out to the right. And as I talk about it, they go up top with a pass intended for Landon Robinson, incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for Davidson.
Hudson Spivey, the 6 foot, 130-pound sophomore, only threw 6 passes 1 year ago. So that's not his strength. And he goes to Landon Robinson, 5'10", 145. Coach Cawley said he's tremendously improved at that, but give it to the Butler and see if he's able to get a push.
Toss out to DJ Butler. They swing it out, and they get into Jaguars territory. Ball at the 45-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and about 2 coming up here for Davidson as they look to the sideline to get the play call from Rick Cawley.
Pop quiz. Who's going to get the football?
I'm going to say number 9 is probably going to be picking it up right here, Corey. Let's see. Man in motion for the Warriors. Back to Butler behind that offensive line. He picks up the first down. That Davidson offensive line averages 251 pounds across the front. So they got the beef to make it happen for DJ Butler. First down and the chains move.
Al, you aced that pop quiz right there. Ethan Franklin, Sean Martin, Ben Spector, William Benjamin, and Cam Mitchell with the push up front for DJ Butler.
Approaching 2 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Whistles from the official. They stop the play. And a flag on the far side.
Dead ball. Ball stop on the offense.
That's going to cost Davidson 5 yards, so it'll push him back to about the 46-yard line of Hillcrest, and we'll get a do-over on first down, so we'll call it 1st and 15.
And one of the other great MCPSS matchups tonight, Viger and BC Rain both tied at 6 apiece at the end of the first quarter.
As you say that, scores pop in right across the ticker at the bottom. Toss out to Butler. A correction, Butler. No, that is Butler. I thought it was a 4 for a second, but it is Butler. A nice run by him. Gets it back past the original line of scrimmage, but once again, another flag on the far side near the Hillcrest sideline.
Let's look at that replay, folks. The stiff arm. That shows he's in the weight room. Number 9 just going to give it to you ferociously. You look at the pitch out right here. DJ Butler coming into your living room. Boom! With the tough stiff arm, the strength that he shows.
I think he took a note from Derrick Henry up at the Tennessee Titans by delivering that stiff arm. And As we wait for the white hat to deliver the results of this penalty, they're walking to the Hillcrest sideline. Good shot of Coach Justin Norrit right there as he comes in to talk to our white hat. And he's quite familiar with the area. Last year, he was an assistant coach at Foley, so he saw DJ Butler up close and has been assistant coach at Spanish Fort, so he's familiar with a lot of the teams. So a personal foul levied against Hillcrest. That's the big 15 right there. So that's a new set of downs for Davidson as they approach the red zone. Ball at the 31-yard line. Butler goes out, empty backfield on the wheel route. Spivey couldn't hit him. Had a little too much air up underneath it. I'm going to blame that one on the humidity, Corey. Just a little hot. Just a little hot. That's all.
Came in hot, incomplete pass. Hudson Spivey, a young man who's continued to work hard at his craft throughout this summer. And Coach Cawley mentioned the great improvements and the strides that he's made as the leader of this offensive squad for the Davidson Warriors.
Yeah, he's a baseball player, an IB student as well here at Davidson. Very smart young man. And we have another flag on the play. That might be a false start.
I think they're going to get big 74. When you're 6'2", 255, you can't hide when you flinch up front because the defenders in the white jerseys are going to go ahead and point that out very quickly. Now, when you're playing behind the sticks here.
False start, offense.
Playing behind the sticks at 2nd down and 5 yards to go. If you're DJ Butler, what you want to do is just try to get half of those yardage back here on 2nd down.
2nd and 15 here. Back to DJ Butler as he goes right up the A-gap. Picks up maybe about 1.5 yards, probably one of his shortest carries tonight. And a little extracurricular after the play. Butler comes out clapping his hands, but the flags come out. Man.
And that, if that's against Hillcrest-Evergreen, that is going to drive their head coach absolutely nuts. Justin Norrit has done a wonderful job.
Sure has.
He's a 2011 Hillcrest graduate.
Right.
So this team, this community just means more to him. Not quite sure if we're going to have offsetting here or it's just going to penalize Hillcrest. But nonetheless, the penalty flag does come out for unsportsmanlike, and it looks like they're going to walk it off against Hillcrest.
And that would be the second unsportsmanlike penalty if that's the case on this particular series. The previous one gave Davidson a 1st down and put them basically in the situation they are now, and they're going to walk off another 15. So here's the call right here from John B.
Personal foul against the defense.
Not unsportsmanlike, a personal foul. Unfortunately, it's still 15 yards against Hillcrest, so I know Coach Norris is upset about that. So Corey, Davidson inside of the red zone, the ball at the 16-yard line, looking to score once again. Both scores tonight by DJ Butler so far.
1st and 10, DJ Butler with an opportunity here to score his 3rd rushing touchdown of the 1st quarter of action.
They toss it out to Butler. No blockers in front of him. Look at him weave his way. He picks up about 2. 2nd and 8, we'll call it here. Coming up for Davidson.
Good stop by Robert Baldwin, 6'3", 285-pound senior with the tackle for Hillcrest.
Spivey looks over to the sideline, taking his time. Under 1 minute remaining here in the 1st quarter. They fake the toss. Spivey rolls out. He's got a guy in the end zone, overthrows his receiver. Anthony Rabb was waiting for it. Put a little too much air on top of that one, Corey.
What you started to see out of this Hillcrest defense, led by defensive coordinator Tyler Dawkins, is a spy on the wheel route that DJ Butler tried to run. We saw him earlier have success and be wide open on the right side of that wheel route. That time he tried to run it to the left side. Great job of spying him, and making sure he wasn't able to convert.
3rd down and about 8. Davidson's calling it 3rd and 9. What do? You go back to your bread and butter. You give it to Derek Butler. He plows ahead for about 5 or 6. It'll be 4th down and short coming up. Decision time for Coach Carley. Does he want to try for the 6 or try for the field goal? The offense still out on the field, and it appears as if they may not have to run a play. I believe there's about a half-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. And I think Coach Carley, he's a veteran. He's going to roll the dice and let the quarter in.
Well, you've scored a couple of touchdowns going into one end zone. Why not break in the other end zone as we will switch ends with the quarter?
So Coach Carley's going to let the play game clock run out. Or no, he called timeout, Corey. So we'll take a break and come back and see what the results will be. Don't forget, Monday is Labor Day. All schools and offices will be closed for the Mobile County Public School System. Enjoy your Labor Day this Monday, September the 4th. So Rick Carley calls a timeout with 4:09 remaining. And out of the timeout, a flag on the play.
I believe it's going to be a false start.
It might be, Corey. And I know that'll definitely make Coach Carley upset. You're right.
Offense.
So that'll push him back 5 yards, and they'll just bring in Riley McGill, and he will set up for a field goal. Looks like he's going to set up.
Now, DeLonga was the 4-year starter at kicker for the Davidson Warriors. So now you have a new kicker this year. Matter of fact, I saw DeLonga playing at UAB on television last night, making a special teams tackle.
So McGill setting up for a 33-yard field goal. Kick is up, and it is good. McGill nails the 34-yarder. Davidson on top, 17-6. They get some points out of that drive.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month
has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi. Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you? Good. How are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
Homeroom with Renee Phillips and find out the latest homework tips and what's happening inside the schools and classrooms. It's Homeroom with Renee Phillips right here on the MCPSS TV network. We are starting the second quarter. Let's take a look at our first quarter statistics and we'll get those up. Our team, China Powell and Matt Moore, doing a fine job, and look at those rushing yards by Davidson, Corey.
Churning out big-time yards, but the penalties are the problem for the Davidson Warriors here in the first quarter. 6 penalties for 42 yards. The turnovers neutralize themselves, Davidson not passing the ball a lot. Hillcrest-Evergreen going with the short routes and the quick, deliberate routes, but the tempo that has been shown by Hillcrest-Evergreen kind of had Davidson on its heels early.
Right,
But
it sure
Davidson
did.
has been able to respond with the aid of some penalties that have been very costly for Hillcrest-Evergreen. And here it is to start the second quarter of play at Warrior Stadium, 17-6.
On that particular series, 2 15-yarders, 1 unsportsmanlike conduct, and 1 personal foul. So that's 30 yards you gave to Davidson right there, and it basically kept them alive both times, and they took advantage of it by getting points. So Riley McGill set to kick off here for the Warriors.
I think that's Gus Jones kicking the ball off.
Correction, it is Gus Jones. I forgot that 0 next to that 2, Corey. That's what it was.
It's all good.
I'm getting up in age, buddy.
It's all good.
Nice kick right there by Jones. Taken by the Jaguars up to about the 33, 34-yard line. Nice return, so some good field position coming up here for Hillcrest. Down 17-6 to Davidson. Let's see if this offense can get it together and get some points on the board. Want to thank everyone up in the Conecuh County, Evergreen area for watching us tonight on social media. We appreciate the support and hope you're enjoying the pictures you're seeing as we have your Jaguars on the World Wide Web.
Absolutely, in high definition at that. And this is a Hillcrest-Evergreen program, 3A Region 1, tough opponent for the Cottage Hills of the world, and along with you, when you also look at their opponents in their region, they do a great job of not shying away from tougher competition.
Hemmed up right there, Timothy Gray on the carry. A tackle for loss, about a 2-yard loss. With that, Davidson all on top of Gray.
Chad Glover, 5'11", 200-pound junior, again continues to make his presence felt as an outside linebacker.
Correction, no gain on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up as we start off the second quarter. Al Wheaton, Corey LeBounty, Kimberly Dunn giving you the action here at Warrior Stadium, christening the stadium tonight for Davidson High School. Porter airs it out, cannot complete it to Demarion Watson. Kind of had an over-the-shoulder look at it, but ball goes out of bounds. So it's 3rd down and 10 coming up here for Hillcrest.
Mentioned those conversions that Hillcrest really struggled with on 3rd down 1 week ago in that overtime loss to T.R. Miller. So another one coming up here to begin the second quarter of play.
Maybe defensive coordinator John Williams has figured out that run game that Hillcrest has done. They've shut down Gray on 1st down. Pretty much this traditionally would be a passing down. Gray just to the left, just to the right of Porter.
You had an offensive lineman who flinched prior to the snap of that football.
Flag on the play.
Good ball. Ball start on the offense.
Costly, 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 Corey. Those are drive killers right there.
They'll definitely put you behind the sticks, down in distance. Change your play sheet calling on 3rd down, especially those ones that 3rd and 10, it's a whole lot harder on 3rd and 15 to convert, especially when you've only completed a couple of passes.
Porter looking to the sideline, play clock under 10 seconds. Pressure's on, and he is sacked. He does release the ball, but he is sacked by Davidson. On that sack, Nick Perkins comes in and puts the heat on it.
6 foot, 180-pound sophomore from his defensive end position. Putting that pressure easily could have been called intentional grounding, and I think that's what we're going to have. We're going to have a loss of down there, Al, because he was clearly in the grasp. There was not a wide receiver. The ball clearly did not go past the line of scrimmage either. They're going to wave it off.
So no grounding. They're going to pick the flag up.
Outside of the pocket.
He was outside the tackle box, but the ball probably did not go past the line of scrimmage, but he was outside the tackle box.
Don't know if he had a wide receiver in the vicinity or not, but that still does bring up 4th down for this Hillcrest Jaguars offense, and the Davidson Warriors will have an opportunity to put DJ Butler deep if that's who they're choosing to go ahead and handle these punt return duties. Last time the punt probably went less than 10 yards, and we'll see how far this one is able to travel.
McDonald on for his second punt of the night. Butler sets up at his own 41-yard line. Play clock resets. Low snap to McDonald. Much better punt this time. Goes right to Butler. He does the smart thing, but with his knees on the ground in high school, he's down automatically right there at the, I think they're going to mark it at the 42, maybe the 41-yard line. So just like Hillcrest has some great field position, Davidson has even better field position at the 41. Let's take a look at the schedules for these teams coming up for the remainder of the season. Well, we'll wait on that. Play about to start right here. So 1st and 10 on the 41. Fake the handoff to Butler. Play action. Spivey dumps it down low. Picks up about 2 yards with the reception for Davidson. Cam Metzner.
Positive yardage there. Nice dump down under duress, showing the pocket presence Hudson Spivey does. Able to check down to his running back in that position.
2nd down and about 8. They hand it off to Butler. Up the middle he goes. Hillcrest just along for the ride, Corey, as he goes into the Jaguars territory for a big gain up to about the 40.
What I love about DJ Butler, he gets stronger, folks, as the game goes along. And here we are to start the 2nd quarter underneath these Friday night lights. We'll see if the Butler can continue to bust off a big one, and I think we're going to have a timeout on the play.
So we have a timeout. Let's take a look at the Warrior schedule. They're going to open up with region play next week at Baker. Then it's Daphne, Fairhope at Rain. That's that middle of the year ball game where we kind of teams play out of region. Then they have MGM Park Crossing. That's another out of region. Park Crossing out of Montgomery, right?
Absolutely.
Another out of region game. Foley at Bryan and Jackson. Let's try to get on the schedule for Hillcrest-Evergreen. Now they're going to open up a region play next week at Flomaton. Then they're going to host their first home game of the season. So they've been on the road 3 weeks in a row. They'll have Thomasville come to town, then W.S. Neal. Then they're off in the middle. Then at Mobile Christian, Monroe, at Excel, Cottage Hill, and Daphne. And Corey, as you see, some very familiar names. You talked about it earlier. This Hillcrest-Evergreen team plays a lot of schools in our area.
Mobile Christian along with Cottage Hill. And as far as being able to see an elite runner, Hillcrest-Evergreen won't see one better than DJ Butler. Is averaging 10.4 yards a carry, has 10 carries for 104 yards so far here in the 1st quarter and 2 minutes of this game.
Pass out and is completed. That's going to be a touchdown to Anthony Rabb, a 41-yard pitch and catch from Spivey to Rabb. Rabb had to wait on it, but he hauled it in. And Corey, there is some laundry on the turf at about the 44-yard line. A flag on the play.
Great job, great pocket presence. Anthony Rabb, 6'2", 195 pounds. Make sure he sees the football all the way in. He makes his first touchdown catch of the season. He did not have a receiving touchdown a year ago, but you can put one on the board for the 6'2", 195-pound junior.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
That's the 3rd 15-yarder tonight for Hillcrest.
Didn't matter because it was a touchdown. So you look at that situation to where you show the Hudson Spivey to Anthony Rabb connection. That's how you work together. That's the leadership and improvement that Rick Colley wanted to see out of Hudson Spivey and Anthony Rabb. Tremendous catch on the play.
Riley McGill on for the extra point. High snap. Kick is down. And it is up. Davidson extends their lead 24-6.
Alexa, tell me about Mobile County Public Schools.
With 53,000 students in 90 schools, Mobile County Public Schools equips and empowers college and career-ready graduates. Several MCPSS schools are ranked among Alabama's top 10. Yearly, graduating students earned about $110 million in college scholarships and 10,000 career credentials. MCPSS is learning today, leading tomorrow. Does that answer your question?
Coming up at halftime, it is the return of the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. We didn't get to see the cow or hear the cow last week, Corey, but we'll hear the cow moo tonight with Kimberly Dunn as she tries to get a winner for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. So stick around for that coming up at halftime. Plus, we'll have the bands. Hillcrest brought their band down with them, so we'll get to check out the Jaguars marching band tonight as well as the Warriors. I saw the Warriors warming up when I pulled up. They have like their own field at the front of the school. And I was like, what are all these kids doing out here? I said, oh, that's the band. So they were getting their practice on, Corey. So the penalty is assessed on the kickoff here. That ball is fumbled. I'm surprised. I am really surprised Joseph just didn't stay in the end zone with that, Corey.
One of those special teams mental lapses on that return that will wind up costing you. Kendrick Richardson Jr. could have let that ball go ahead and go out of bounds or through the back of the end zone.
Right.
Decided to go ahead and field it, and now you're looking at taking over on your own 4-yard line. And that would be a long drive to get 6 on the board. Trailing so far, Davidson up 24-6 with 10:03 remaining here in the second quarter of action.
Jaguars running out onto the field. Led by Kevin Porter, the converted wide receiver. 1st and 10 on the 4, as you said, Corey. Backs against the wall here. Porter in the end zone to take this snap. This is crucial. Correction, they did not go with Porter. They brought in Dorian Watson on that play, and Porter was the intended receiver. So a little switch right there by Coach Justin Norris.
Well, when you're lined up against your own end zone, why not take the shot for Dorian Watson? Dorian Watson attempted one pass 1 week ago against T.R. Miller, and that pass resulted in an interception for Miller. And here it is again, you're looking at 2nd and 10 from your own 4. Davidson is going to try to get home and bring that heat, trying to cause a safety or a turnover.
Hand off to Joseph up the middle. Nice run and some nice blocking by the Jaguars, but a flag on the far side of the field near the 10-yard line. We'll let the official discuss that and give us the call.
Definitely was not a pre-snap penalty, or we would not have even had the play to occur. So you love to see the discussion of officials to talk it out, make sure everyone's on the same page and the ball's spotted correctly.
I'm thinking either a block in the back or a hold, possibly against Hillcrest.
Thanks, man.
So an inadvertent face mask, only the 5-yard variety, so I was totally wrong. But that's going to be a 1st down, and it gets Hillcrest out of being backed up against the wall, backed up against the goal line. So they got some breathing room now, Corey.
Right at their own 17 now. We'll see if they're able to establish the tempo in the running game.
Hand off to Joseph as they still having Watson in at quarterback. Porter has moved to wide receiver right there at the bottom of the screen, just above the score. 2nd down and 4 coming up here for the Jaguars. Keeping it on the ground once again. If it's wide open, stick with it. Right through the B gap goes Kevin Joseph for a big run. That's going to move the sticks. 1st down for Hillcrest.
Trey Clark, the 3rd. Our threaded fasteners impact player defensively for the Warriors, stepping up and making that tackle, but not before the Jaguars get the 1st down.
1st and 10 on their own 31. Trying to run, but he's going to be tackled for a loss by Davidson.
Joshua Rankin, the middle linebacker, 5'8", 165-pound junior, shoots the gap and gets a tackle for loss. Rankin had 1 solo tackle and 3 assists a year ago, so now he's getting a lot of the minutes, and that's a huge tackle for loss. Another 2nd and 12 now.
Pushes him back about 2 yards. Watson looks to the sideline for the call from Coach Norrit. Pass from Watson to Porter, and he is just smashed right at the 32-yard line.
Quintarius Wheeler comes up from his cornerback position, the 5'10", 185-pound junior, with a terrific stop along with Trey Clark III. I love the fact that Davidson swarming to the football, and once again, 3rd down for the Jaguars.
They get back to the original line of scrimmage, but it's 3rd and 10. And I believe Davidson may have possibly figured out this Hillcrest offense, not as high tempo as it was when we started the ball game. Watson trying to throw again, completes to Porter. Kevin Porter, the converted wide receiver, back to wide receiver right now. But that's not enough for the 1st down. They're going to be short. So it'll be 4th down coming up here for the Jaguars. We'll call it 4th and about 2.
I say you go ahead and go with it here. You're trailing 24-6. You're
Got
right
to.
at your own 31
Got to.
yard line, or why not? You're at your own 39-yard line. Go ahead and roll the dice.
They need 2 yards. The line to gain is the 41. Watson, pocket collapses on him, and a few Warriors collapse on him as well, and Davidson scalps that drive. Ball over on downs to the Warriors.
Deshaun Traylor, the first to make contact for the Davidson Warriors. Turnover on downs, and you look at the penetration as soon as Dorian Watson looks up, he sees 3 and 4 black jerseys right in front of him, and turnover on downs now, and we'll see if the Warriors are able to go ahead and have another successful drive offensively.
1st and 10 on the 34. Pitch out with the run for Davidson. Terrence Gray picks up a couple. Corey, that is Hillcrest's 2nd time touching the ball in the 2nd quarter, and it's their 2nd transition. First was 3 and out. That one's turnover on downs. They haven't produced anything here in the 2nd quarter.
Terrence Gray receiving that pitch from Hudson Spivey, and positive yardage, 3-yard gain on the play.
Back to the well, they go to Gray again as he is tackled for a loss, picked up maybe 1 yard. So 3rd down and about, we'll call it 5 coming up here, a long 5 for the Warriors. So it's 6:03. I believe we're going to have our heat timeout right here by the officials. Let's take it down to the sideline with Kimberly Dunn.
I'm here with the principal from Hillcrest-Evergreen, Dr. Hines. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. We want to hear about all of the exciting things that you have going on at Hillcrest-Evergreen.
Well, at Hillcrest-Evergreen, this year we're reshaping our school culture, and we're starting off with our motto is a no excuse culture, a no excuse culture of respect with a growth mindset. And what we're doing is we're getting our kids to buy in. The kids have been great. We're teaching them to have empathy and respect for one another. More or less, when you start talking about respect, there's a lot of aspects in that. And kids are bought in. Our football team is bought in under our new head coach and athletic director, Coach Nard, Justin Nard. And the great things that we have there is one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that as we teach this growth mindset and this culture of respect, for the kids not to have an excuse why they can't do anything. And one of the things we're doing is we're trying to build relationships with parents and the community. So we began to invite parents and the community into our schools more to volunteer, to be a part of what we're doing. We started an organization called Parent Connect, which is similar to our teacher PTO. is similar to the PTO, but it's shaped for Hillcrest High School and our unique needs and the different things that we're doing in the walls of Hillcrest-Evergreen, Connecticut County Schools. So we're doing some great things there. It's going to take us some time. We're building a new culture, a new mindset there, and we're just thankful that the community and the kids have bought into what we're doing at Hillcrest-Evergreen in Connecticut County.
Well, we are excited to see the growth that you and your school has. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you, and go Jag Nation.
All right, Dr. Hines, we appreciate all the Jags fans checking us out tonight. Nice little tunnel screen set up right there by Davidson. Completed the pass to DeMarcus George, and they got a first down, ball inside of the red zone. DJ Butler not on the field right now, but carrying the rock is Terrence Gray, and I believe he's going to be close to another first down.
Love the fact that Terrence Gray, the 5'7", 175-pound sophomore, has been able to come right in and relieve DJ Butler on this drive, but credit to the offensive line getting the push that's allowing Gray to hit those holes.
Warriors inside of the scoring zone, ball on the 9, going with the little fade to the corner route, and we have a flag on the play. Pass intended for Landon Robinson, and that infraction occurred right in front of the official.
Half the distance on that pass interference call. That's going to be an easy call for them to make in that situation. And you're Rick Cawley, you're talking with your team. You want to see clean execution here as the defender does not turn his head, does not make a play on the football, and you keep the receiver almost boxing him out, keeping him from being able to make a play on the football.
Pass interference.
So pass interference against Hillcrest. Ball was at the 9-yard line. I guess they would do half the distance, Corey. So that puts it at about inside of the 5. So we'll call it first and goal here from the 5. Little play action. Spivey throws it. He had his guy, Anthony Rabb, but he hit him too low. So second down and goal coming up.
Great pressure by this Jaguar defense, not allowing him to get comfortable. Christian Ingram, the 6'1", 205-pound sophomore, with the pressure of Hudson Spivey. And what you would like to see is Terrence Gray get rewarded here for all his hard work on this drive and find a way to get 6 in the end zone for the black and gold of Davidson.
They listen to you, Corey. They give it to Gray, and I believe he's close to the goal line, and there is the signal. So a touchdown for Terrence Gray. Davidson scores again here in the second quarter.
5-yard touchdown run by Terrence Gray, and Terrence Gray only had 2 rushing touchdowns 1 season ago, but this one makes sure he at least gets numero uno for this 2023 football season.
Riley McGill on for the PAT once again. And McGill remains perfect on extra points. Davidson all in control, 31-6 over Hillcrest-Evergreen.
It's your time, it's your season, and you are made for more. More confidence, more style, and more bling. The Genuine Bling is here to deliver you more bling and more fashion. With new styles added daily, you can shop anytime and look fabulous. Join me, Charmaine Watson, on the $5 Frenzy every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. It's cute, it's fabulous, it's fashionable, it's $5, it's paparazzi.
BSN Sports, where you can get team apparel and equipment from basketball to volleyball and all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game, online at bsnsports.com. Also got to thank Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So visit our friend Neil Patel at the Greenlight Road Firehouse Subs location. Got to thank BSN and Firehouse for all that they do for us here on the MCPSS high school football game of the week.
31-6 our score, Al, and it's really been the dominance of this Davidson Warrior offensive squad so far.
Jones with the kickoff. Fielded by Timothy Gray. Nice return by Gray, close to the 35-yard line. See if a spark can be ignited here in the Jaguars offense. They switched to Dorian Watson on that last series, but they were not able to capitalize. It was turnover on down. So let's see if Watson's going to come back out at quarterback or if they'll revert back to Kevin Porter. 4:46 remaining in the first half. Don't forget at halftime, we'll have the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge. Plus, we'll show you the bands. It'll be their first performance on this home field for the Davidson Warriors. So that should be pretty exciting if you remember the band, Corey.
They've worked extremely hard along with the cheerleaders and all auxiliary here at Davidson High School, and big-time drive here for the Jaguars.
Back to Porter at quarterback as he hands off to Joseph, who crosses the 35-yard line for about a 2-yard gain.
Now, when these two teams met 1 year ago, you look at Hillcrest-Evergreen coming away with a win. 34-10 was the final score for Hillcrest being victorious. And here tonight, it's flip-flopped in the first half.
Porter's going to keep it. He's a dual threat guy. Needs one guy to beat. He does beat him. Open field for Porter as he crosses the midfield stripe into Davidson Warriors territory.
Quintarius Wheeler is the one who winds up and finishes off that tackle. You can see the tempo here for Hillcrest going right back to the line of scrimmage on the fresh set of downs. Now what Hillcrest has an opportunity to do is to open up this playbook here by their head coach, and he really can throw everything in the kitchen sink at the Davidson Warriors at close to midfield.
Joseph on the run, wide open up the middle. He goes. Plenty of room. Corey LeBounty, you could have picked up those yards. No Davidson Warriors were near him. First down, and look at the offensive line. Already on top of the ball as they spot it.
That's great coaching. That's what you see. That's what you practice every single day. If you're an offensive time and situation is now in the Jaguars' hands.
High snap, but they get it down. Joseph escapes a Warrior defender. He's got room, trying to take it to the house, and he is going to come up about a yard. No touchdown. They say he's in. I thought his knee was down. 34-yard run for Kevin Joseph, and the Jaguars back on the board. One Davidson Warrior coming up limping after the play right there, headed to the sideline.
Stretched out the football, able to get past the goal line. Great run, and you can see with his hands on his hips, Kevin Joseph being very explosive once he got to that second level. Nice cutback, way to stretch out to make sure he was not going to be denied of that score.
Joseph breathing as he's on for the extra point. Low snap, kick is up, and it is no good. The second PAT, no good. Let's take a look at that replay from Joseph on that run.
You look at him get to the second level, it's all speedy. Cuts back right there, makes the Davidson Warrior defender fall, and he stretches out for 6 points.
Kimberly Dunn, let's check in with you on the sideline with Renee Phillips. What's going on?
Hi, I'm here with the MCPSS Director of Communication, Renee Phillips. We want to hear about all the exciting things going on in Mobile County.
So we are having a great year. It's hard to believe that we are 4 weeks into this school year, September, and so Superintendent Threadgill challenged us to aim for excellence this school year, and I've been able to travel out to schools across the county, and I'm seeing it every day that our children, our teachers, everyone are aiming for excellence.
And speaking of excellence, that is stretching across all platforms, just with sports, with academics. Can you tell us a little bit about what is going on?
Right, so we're excited. Obviously, we're here for football tonight, but we just got some great rankings from greatschools.org. 7 of our schools are the top schools in Alabama, and that's Old Shell Road, Council, Hutchins, Dolphin Island, Phillips Preparatory, Clarkshaw, and Denton Magnet School. And then we're at Davidson here. They were just ranked number 15 in the state of Alabama for high schools, and so we're just very proud of our academics as well.
Yes. Now, if parents are wanting to find out more about these schools and even ones that weren't mentioned, where can they get this information, and what are some of the programs that they can see that are offered there?
So obviously MCPSSTV is the best source for news. We also have Mobile County Public Schools Facebook page. We put a lot of the highlights about what's happening, as well as announcements when there's like magnet school enrollment or pre-K enrollment, those sorts of things, and announcements about the school year. Like we are off Monday for Labor Day, so make sure we remember that. I don't think we'll forget it as parents. We'll be excited. But we're always sharing information. We also have a new website called nomob.com, KNOWMOB.com. And that's a partnership with the City of Mobile, Mobile County, and the Mobile Chamber of Commerce and the school system to share the positive news.
Well, we are excited for another great year here in Mobile County and all of the things that are growing with our academics, with our sports, whatever it is. So thank you so much for giving us that information and where we can find more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Renee. As we return back to the action, Cam Metzner with the return up to about the 37-yard line. The return of DJ Butler as well. And as I call his name, Corey, he's written to the ground after picking up a first down.
Yeah, he'll give you a piggyback ride as far as his strength is concerned, and they're able to pick up that first down. Jameer Sharp is the one who went along for the ride, 6'2", 200-pound junior. You see the strength. He's just waiting patiently, and he's able to pop out of that hole at the last moment.
Back to Butler again. He tries a reverse field, but he is tackled for a loss. His forward progress will be stopped about 2 yards, so that's a 2-yard loss right there. Bring up 2nd and 12 as the pile pushed him close back to the 30-yard line.
And what Hillcrest has to make sure is they don't get any unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that will aid in this drive for the Davidson Warriors.
The officials bringing the ball back up to the 46 to spot it. So we'll call it 2nd and 12 coming up for the Warriors. They have 2nd and 11 on the scoreboard. 3 running plays back to back to back for Davidson. Look at DJ Butler trying to pick his hole. A flag comes in from one of the back officials. 2 flags, 3 flags. It's a flag for Nancy. A flag frenzy going on. I can't even call it, Corey.
Cam Metzner, you look at him getting out in space and trying to create that running lane, but a little extracurricular on the far sidelines after the play, and I just mentioned moments ago you have to watch out if you're Hillcrest that you don't get penalized for it.
Officials taking their time to discuss it, and as you see, they're marching backwards with the ball.
Love the fact that they're, again, continuing to communicate with one another. I know it might have been post-play on the far sidelines, offsetting possibly, wasn't able to see exactly whether it was a late hit out of bounds or whether they got up jawing with one another. But worst case scenario, you will have offsetting here.
And now they're walking back, so let's get the call here from Mr. B.
We got holding on the offense. We have a personal foul on the defense. We're going to walk off 10 and walk back 15.
So they're going to do it the old school way, Corey. Walk it off and then walk it back. As one of our statisticians, Matt Moore, scratches the head behind us.
It equates in +5.
+5 at the end of the day, it'll be +5. And I believe that'll make it 2nd down and about maybe 7 coming up here for Davidson. Ball's at the 49. So about 2nd and 6, we'll call it. Spivey with the pass, throws a bullet a little too high for Anthony Rabb. He couldn't reach up and grab that one.
6'2", 195-pound junior, the intended wide receiver on the play. And as you stretch out with how hot and humid it is, you definitely can feel the cramps in the Charlie horse grabbing the young man in his leg.
Great shot right there by our cameraman, Richard Beatty. 3rd down coming up for the Warriors, as we are under 2 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Empty backfield too, Al.
Spivey back there by himself, unloads it, Completes, stretches out Landon Robinson. He may have enough to move the sticks.
Get a fresh set of downs.
Yep, there's the signal. First down from the PA guy next door to us. So the Warriors trying to get some more points before halftime. 31-12, they are up right now.
See how they work in this under 2-minute offense here as Butler's picking, bobbing, and weaving his hole.
Picks up about 5 or 6, and the Powell just flows with him. And we have a timeout on the field. Davidson calls timeout, so Rick Carlin wants to give his guys a break and discuss things. So right now, let's take a look at the poll, starting with the 5A poll from the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Faith Academy in at number 4. UMS Wright takes a fall to 6 after that loss last week for the Battle of O'Shell Road. Gulf Shore sitting at 8. And receiving some 4 votes outside the top 10, the BC Rain Red Raiders had a big win against Excel last week. Corey, they're playing Viger tonight, as a matter of fact, over in Pritchard. Let's take it up to the 6A poll after 1 week of action. Still number 1, Saraland on top with a big win over Lipscomb Academy last week. Theodore Bobcats take a fall after losing to Baker. And Spanish Fort, they lost the first week to Fairhope, so they're still outside the top 10 with 12 votes. And St. Paul's with that big win over UMS Wright, they pick up 8 votes. We'll swing it up to the 7A poll. Thompson still in charge with Auburn right behind them. And look down there near the bottom at number 9, the Vikings holding tight with MGM, and number 10, Foley, picking up votes outside. You have Baker, Fairhope as well. So Foley and MGM in the top 10 here representing 7A Region 1. And representing for the Warriors, you got Landon Robinson with a 37-yard pitch and catch from Hudson Spivey. That's Spivey's second touchdown tonight through the air.
Let's go back and look at this replay, folks. It was beautifully designed, beautifully executed by this Davidson Warrior offense. And you see on the replay that is coming up, you see the touchdown catch. If we're able to run that back one more time to actually see the throw and who threw it, a little bit surprising there by the Davidson Warriors. You get caught looking in the backfield and you pay the price.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month
has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
The know about what's happening in Mobile with nomobe.com, featuring content from MCPSS, the City of Mobile, Mobile County, and the Mobile Chamber of Commerce. It's news straight from the source, nomobe.com. And Corey, we got to try to check out that replay.
Yeah,
I believe.
Let's see if we can see that from
our
above.
Statistician Matt Moore told us that was Derek Butler with the pass.
Yeah, it really looked like it was, you're looking at Derek Butler. It was a pitch behind the line of scrimmage, almost like a sweep play. And because he was behind the line of scrimmage, you get caught catching him, and he throws a touchdown strike.
Gray with the return. Just past the 25-yard line.
Yeah, see if we're in the truck, if we're able to look at that one more time. Definitely Butler there.
That's it. The Butler did it, Corey. The Butler did it. Great eyes by Matt Moore, our statistician. You know, he's a coach over at Pillin, so he sees things like that. We can't see that. He's got them coach eyes.
Landon Robinson with the reception, and Derek Butler, a phenomenal basketball player here at Davidson, also plays baseball for the Warriors, and he's a verbal commit to Coastal Carolina. But I will say this, I don't think he's thrown a touchdown before according to the statistics that I have, that would be his first touchdown pass as a Davidson
Warrior. I think
Warrior.
he may have had one last year. It was either against Baker or Fairhope, one of those two. We can try to talk to Coach Carl. I think he threw one last year, Corey.
We're going to have to go ahead and go to that archive to check
right.
that one out, because I know this much, no matter how you look at it, it's 3 touchdowns on the board for Derek Butler, 2 rushing and 1 passing.
One of the reasons why he's our spotlight player tonight, on the ground and through the air, the young man doing it. On the carry right there, Hillcrest keeping the drive going. 3rd down coming up. And I believe they're just going to let it run to the half. Coach Nord and his staff going to try to take it to the locker room with Davidson on top 38-12. And we're going to take it to the half right there, Corey, as it winds down. Quite an interesting first half. We had a very explosive first quarter, but then the second quarter, Coach Rick Cawley and the Warriors really opened it up.
38-12. As far as you look at the turnovers by both of these squads, really not a difference maker. We've had points off turnovers by both of these squads in the first half, but the line of scrimmage dominance by the Davidson Warriors, even though Hillcrest is going with quick tempo, the Warriors have been able to put points on the board, and it's been the costly penalties in the first half of action for Hillcrest-Evergreen that coach is going to go ahead and address to his team and get cleaned up at halftime.
They've had us busy with our flip chart and our buddy Charles with the replays tonight, because Davidson has really been going at it, showing their high-tempo offense led by head coach Rick Cawley. He's the play caller. We saw Hillcrest kind of opening up a bit early, but then Davidson came right back and answered. Matter of fact, speaking of Davidson, Kimberly Dunn is with Rick Cawley right now.
Coach Crawley, the Warriors started out this game very strong, scoring in the first 30 seconds of the game. Do you feel like that has really helped them maintain their momentum so far?
Yeah, getting the turnover and then getting points off of it is big. I didn't like the turnover on our side of it, but, you can't always get what you want, I guess. But, it was a good first half. I think we're playing pretty decent. Still some big chunks that runs that we'd like to take away, but all in all, we're pleased.
So as you go into the locker room with your team, what adjustments are you going to try to make in order to secure that win tonight?
We want to keep doing what we're doing, because that's a prideful community. They're not going to lay down. They're going to come out here and play. They are a historical football program. So we want to keep doing what we're doing, keep our head about us, and, just play Warrior football.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate it. We're going to take it down to the field and check out the sounds of the Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguar Band. Job by the Hillcrest-Evergreen Marching Jaguars. We'll take a break and come back and bring you the Davidson Warriors band. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi. Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you? Good. How are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
It's now time for the sound of Mobile, the Davidson High School Marching Band. The Davidson High School Marching Band. Let's take it down to Kimberly Dunn. I believe she's ready for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
We're here with our Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge, and I have three lovely ladies with me tonight that are going to give it a go. Are y'all ready for our challenge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I want to know a little bit about you. Where do you go to school? What grade are you in?
I go to Davidson, and I'm a senior. I go to Davidson, and I'm a sophomore. I go to Davidson, and I'm a sophomore.
Okay, and I see a lot of you in pink and a little bit of black. Can you tell me a little bit about what that's about?
Yes, ma'am. So the student section, the spirit organization called Wild Warriors, puts out themes for all of the games, and today is Barbie versus Oppenheimer, since that's like the two big movies of right now.
Awesome. Well, are you ready to answer our trivia challenge this week?
I guess so. Ready?
Okay, and just to remind our viewers, if they get this trivia question right, they will go home with our lovely Chick-fil-A prize pack that has lots of goodies, as well as some Chick-fil-A gift cards. So best of luck to you. Here's your question. The state of Alabama is bordered by the states of Georgia to the east, Florida along the Gulf of Mexico to the south, and Mississippi to the west. What state borders the north? All right, is it A, Kentucky, B, Tennessee, C, South Carolina, or D, Louisiana?
We're going to go with Tennessee.
B, Tennessee, and you would be correct. Way to go, ladies. I told you y'all would do a great job. Congratulations on our Chick-fil-A prize pack, and thank you so much for talking with us tonight.
Of course. You have a good night.
Thanks. You say bye.
You always got to say bye to the camera, Corey. Appreciate it, Kim, with that Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge. Right now, let's take a look at first half stats and see what has been going on as this game has progressed. And we've had some scoring tonight.
Absolutely, Al. As far as from a statistical standpoint, 170 rushing yards for the Warriors, 107 passing yards, 177 total. Look at that, 277 total. 1 and 1 is 2, so we'll go 1 turnover apiece. 9 penalties for 62 yards. That's something both teams want to definitely clean up. And when you look at the inability right now for Hillcrest to throw the football, that's the difference in this game right now.
And the penalties right there, 7 for 79. Speaking of Hillcrest, let's go down to the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn is with their coach.
I'm here with Coach Nard. Coach, what was the atmosphere like in the locker room?
Well, I think the guys, they realized that we had some things not go our way, and we just got the attitude was really positive. Down 26 points, you would think that it would be real negative, but they know that we have a chance to be really good. This is a 7A program, but I feel like we can still come back and battle and have a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter, even down 26. That's how much we believe in each other, and that's what we're going to fight to do.
And I know you were talking with your guys, so what kind of adjustments are you going to make in the second half, hopefully to come out with the win?
Well, offensively, we're moving the ball on them. Like, we have like 150, 160 rushing yards. I think that's what we kind of calculated. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We just got to execute better on our third downs. We had a couple mental busts, quarterback roll right when he was supposed to be rolling left, and things like that. And we just got to improve on that. Defensively, we just got to tackle. All right, and we got to be very, very smart about being late to the ball and tapping a kid and then they fall, okay? And it's not like my guys just out there waylaying them. Yeah. So we just got to be very conscientious about the situation and how the game is being called tonight.
Yeah, and last question for you, Coach. We were able to talk with your principal, Dr. Hines, and he really talked about the culture that they're trying to build. And you mentioned earlier that that culture is rubbing off on your guys. So how do you feel that that culture is playing into tonight's game?
Yes, we have a no-excuse culture of a growth mindset committed to excellence. And even down fighting this adversity, we got to continue to grow. And so we're just trying to build that culture at the school. I'm an alumnus of Hillcrest. I graduated #2 in my class, so I understand the academic side of it, and I'm just handling the athletic side because it all blends together. When your athletic department is successful, then your academic department will fall in line with that as well. And that's what we're trying to do, just from an entire school culture standpoint, having kids being excited to school, being in class, learning, etc. And that's what we're just trying to build at Hillcrest.
All right, Coach, well, best of luck to you. I'll let you get with your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Something we rarely get to hear from, Corey, honestly, from a coach.
Absolutely, and like you said, no quit in him. And I know that his support system with his wife and 2 sons, Dallas and Corbin, are tremendous. And again, him trying to create an atmosphere that he was used to when he was going to school at Hillcrest. A lot of uphill battle here in the second half as DJ James has been the story here in the first half.
Well, not DJ James, but DJ
Butler.
Speaking of him, he's our spotlight player. Let's take a look at what he has done so far tonight That is our previous committed. I don't know if China can update that for us, but there it is. 13 carries, 122 yards rushing. Look at what he's done, Corey.
3 total touchdowns, 13 carries, 122 rushing yards. You can look for that to go ahead and stay steady in the second half as long as he's healthy. I mentioned how he gets stronger throughout the contest. We'll see here when the Davidson Warriors receive this football what kind of second half dose of the Butler we get.
I don't know if the Butler did it, but he is definitely doing it tonight, Corey, for sure. DJ Butler, our spotlight player of the game. So Davidson receiving this kickoff. And you heard Hillcrest coach say, we're not out of this by any means. He views it, this is an opportunity. We can take advantage to come back. And there's the onside kick. I didn't tell you. I thought about it, Corey.
10 yards.
I don't think it went 10 yards at all.
I don't see the flag yet for illegal touching, but that football definitely did not go 10 yards. Waiting for the yellow flag because I want to look at it. Look, the officials, Coach Cawley talking about it right now with the officials, but the ball rolled backwards. It did not go forward in that situation, so I'm looking to see what's going to happen. I know it did not go 10 yards for sure. I was watching it. It did not go end over end, and because it didn't go end over end, it went backwards. So Davidson will take over in prime time field position as they will have it right close to the midfield stripe.
You're right. I mean, this is a gift horse right here for the Warriors. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Derek Butler up the middle, he goes. Gets the first down plus a little more as he moves the sticks.
Well, I know this. He's going to continue to ground and pound. You having the big-time lead 38-12, and you want to keep that clock running if you're Coach Rick Cawley, and what better way to do that than to give it to number 9.
They bring in Terrence Gray, and I believe he's going to have a first down as well as he moves the sticks, and Davidson on the move.
Nice change of backs when you're able to have a big back, a scat back. That 1-2 combination will prove dividends of great potential for the Davidson Warriors.
Pass completed, but a flag on the play. I believe this may be a pre-snap penalty. False start against the Warriors. So pushes Davidson back 5 yards. 1st and 15. Back to Gray they go. 2nd down for them coming up.
And if you look at the checklist of things Davidson needed to do in the first half to win this game, they needed to establish the run game. Check that one off in the first half. Win the turnover takeaway battle. It was a push of 1 apiece. Spear in space, Coach Cawley wants them to tackle better. For Hillcrest, sustain and convert on 3rd down, something Coach Nord mentioned they haven't been able to do. And as we're mentioning that, 6 more points for the Warriors out.
Touchdown for Davidson with that pass. Spivey connects big time with Jadrick Jowers. No flag scored. That's a touchdown.
Nice pitch and catch execution at its best. For the passing game, you get caught looking, you get caught looking, you get caught looking, and what happens all of a sudden? Davidson throws off a nice touchdown pass by their quarterback.
I believe there may be a flag as
I don't know if it's
Whitehead's talking to the Hillcrest sideline. I don't see anything marked off, Corey, so.
10:29 remaining here, 44-12. Davidson with an explosion offensively to open up their new field.
PAT is up. McGill is perfect tonight on the PATs. Let's take a look at the replay. Beautiful pass right here from Spivey to Jowers.
One step is all he had to take, and way to high point the football and come down and get it. I love the way the concentration was there, and he was able, as a junior wide receiver, to go ahead and get his first opportunity. And as we continue with the checklist, Hillcrest sustaining and converting on third downs, that was mentioned by Coach Nord. They haven't been able to do that. Flip the field on special teams. That onside kick did not work, so you weren't able to flip it there. It led to 6 points. Half gap control at the line of scrimmage. That would keep DJ Butler in check. Has not been able to do that either.
He's been slashing. He's been in. He's been outside. He's even thrown a touchdown pass. He fooled both of us, Corey. So, you know, he's kind of done it all tonight. One of the reasons why we make him our spotlight player of the week. Take a look at that scoring summary, and it happened pretty quick. Davidson has scored pretty quick tonight as well. I think we'll try to get that up here in a moment. So, Corey, I do believe they're marking that penalty off here on the kickoff.
Yeah,
it was against Davidson.
It was an unsportsmanlike after. I do believe he tried to spin the football instead of just taking it and placing it down. A little excitement for your first high school touchdown catch there. So
there you go.
They'll go ahead and assess that on the kickoff. Instead of kicking off from the 40, you'll back it up.
I mean, hey, Jowers will tell his grandkids about that. That night I scored that touchdown in the stadium. So, you know, those things will possibly happen. Up 45-12 right now. Davidson all in control of this ball game. We may have to pull up our rosters because at this point, Coach Carley might start going deep into the depth chart tonight, Corey. Gray with the return, past the midfield stripe, and I believe he ran into Riley McGill. I think McGill might get credit for the tackle.
You love it when the kicker is in on special teams making the tackle, but right here you have to answer if you're the Jaguars. You can't afford, even though only a minute and a half elapsed off the clock here in the third quarter, you don't want to put your defense out there on the field again. And as you see the nice deep kick, you'll see the kicker ultimately come away, McGill, with a smash hit.
Keep your eye on
the returner. Nice high hit.
That's a credit. That's a tackle. He's in the stat book, Corey. 1st and 10 for Hillcrest coming up at the Davidson 41. Porter decides to keep it, takes it out the belly of Joseph. Look at him slashing for about 8 or 9 yards. Nice run right there by Kevin Porter.
What you want to see is positive yardage early and down and distance situations, and that's exactly what happened for the Jaguars there. Not really getting back to the line of scrimmage as quickly, but 2nd down and probably a long 2 yards to go.
Fakes it once again. Porter keeps it, gets the 1st down, and heads right out of bounds. So 1st and 10 coming up. The chains are going to move for the Jaguars. Ball sitting at the 30-yard line. Porter throws, and he does connect with Watson.
Great job. Duke Watson looking that ball in, and the receiver was giving him a nice little buffer and backpedaling there. He ran short to the sticks, 9-yard route. Great completion, pitch, and catch at its finest. Great drive so far here by the Jaguars.
Started at the Davidson 41-yard line. Porter keeps it once again and runs into a wall of Warriors. Decides to throw that. He was outside the tackle box. Probably not a wise choice right there for the young fella.
Something I probably would not have done. I would have gone ahead and take that hit, but being behind the line of scrimmage, just tried to go ahead and pitch it forward, and incomplete pass. And you look at,
he's hurting right now, Corey.
In the 4th quarter, I wouldn't be surprised here if we see the clock picking up a little faster pace.
I think he may have hurt his wrist or his hand. He's grimacing with it. 3rd and short coming up. The snap is going to be crucial on this play. Under 7 seconds on the play clock. Porter gets the snap, fakes it. Play action. The ball is tipped right into the hands of Demarion Watson. Johnny on the spot, and he lumbers up to about the 3-yard line for Hillcrest.
Great concentration off of the tip ball to find a way to go ahead and bring that in. Hillcrest-Evergreen knocking in the red zone area for the first time here in the second half of action. Something really we haven't seen since the first quarter.
You're right.
For Hillcrest to be in that red zone area.
1st and goal from the 3-yard line for the Jaguars. Hand off to Timothy Gray, and he hits pay dirt for the score, and the Jaguars are on the board again.
Nice 3-yard touchdown run, and as I mentioned, the Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguars are going to be a reflection of their head coach. No quit. And this head coach's Justin Narrett coach team, he's not going to give up, and his team's not going to give up, just continuing to scratch and claw. Nice 3-yard touchdown run. Good push up front by the O-line.
Joseph on for the PAT. He has been unsuccessful so far tonight. And I believe he gets this one up and through. 45-19 is our score. Davidson all in control.
What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good?
School-aged children are at a higher risk of getting and spreading germs and viruses. To help protect the spread, students are encouraged to stay home when sick. Parents, it's important for your child to remain at home at least 24 hours after they no longer have a fever of 100 degrees or higher without the use of medications. Please help us maintain a healthy learning environment.
Monday it is coming up, Labor Day. That means all schools and offices will be closed for the Mobile County Public School System. So if you haven't marked it on your calendar, or if your mobile device hasn't reminded you that Monday is Labor Day, I'm here to tell you Monday is Labor Day. So don't send the kids to school. Don't go to work if you don't have to. The unofficial end of summer, what they call it, but Corey, around here we just call it maybe don't wear white after Labor Day. Or,
that's definitely the rule of thumb. You know, no white after Labor Day is the rule of thumb.
Don't let Dr. Set It Off see you in the streets with that white on after Labor Day. Put it like that. Shout out to my man, Dr. Carl Cunningham. 8:52 remaining here in the third quarter. Al Wheaton, Corey Bounty, Kimberly Dunn bringing you the action from Warrior Stadium, the first ever ball game here at this brand new facility. It's absolutely beautiful, Corey. I love it.
Couldn't ask for a better night of high school football. No rain.
Right.
Of course, it is humid, but you just mentioned we're still in our summertime pattern.
Correct.
Could have been hotter, but the little light rain that we did receive today made it a little steamy.
It
but
did.
The LED Friday night lights here shining on the campus of Davidson High School, and I said the campus of Davidson
That's correct.
High School.
And speaking of the lights, this is something I've never seen. The lights are shining down. Typically, they shine upon the field. I've never seen that before, Corey. The lights from the towers are shining down upon.
Tilted.
They're like they're tilted down. That's the new technology. That's what it is.
Absolutely. When you spend that kind of LED
Look
money,
at that.
you want to go ahead and protect your investment. That's one way to do it.
That's what. See, you're knowledgeable about that stuff. The LED. I just got a Celica phone. That's all I have, man. You know, we're gonna get the re-kick right here from Hillcrest. Great shot by the crew right there. Beautiful stadium here for the Warriors. I did ask Coach Carly, you know, is there a nickname for the stadium? He said, no, it's just Warrior Stadium. I was like, all right, I didn't know if it was the Warpath or something, but they call it Warrior Stadium here, home for the Davidson Warriors. Here's the re-kick from the Jaguars. Let's see if they're onside. I know they're just going to give it one of the up guys. DeMarcus George, he caught a touchdown earlier. He brings it up to about the 40. It'll be first down and 10 coming up for Davidson. Let's see if Spivey will still remain in the ball game with Davidson on top 45-19. Maybe we might see number 16, Micah Stivey, come out, but Hudson does run out onto the field.
And it'll be interesting to see how much more DJ Butler will continue to play.
I agree.
When you have this type of lead 45-19 and you have a very capable backup Terrence Gray, we'll see what happens here with Terrence Gray and DJ Butler as this game progresses in the middle of the third quarter.
Great tackle for a loss, about a 2-yard loss there. Brings up second down and 12 for the Warriors. Decent crowd here tonight for the official home opener of the stadium. As we told you at the beginning, last week was a jamboree game against Baldwin County. That did not count on the books, but that counts. That's a sack of Hudson Spivey. Great sack right there by Jameer Sharp, one of your threaded fastener impact players.
A week ago, 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss versus T.R. Miller, where there's going to be another tackle for loss and sack to add to his huddle film. As far as the 6'2", 200-pound junior defensive lineman doing a tremendous job from his end position, bringing the quarterback down.
Spivey looks to the sideline for the call. Blitz is coming. Trying to connect with George. I thought if he had laid out, he may have, as we'll say it, Corey, lost the ball in the lights possibly as he was looking back to haul it in.
The only bad part about that for Davidson is it does stop the clock with 7:36 remaining. Jameer Sharp, our threaded fastener impact player of the game. Again, a junior outside linebacker and defensive end, plays both those positions for this defense, for the Jaguars. Defensive coordinator Tyler Dawkins speaks very highly of this young man along with his head coach.
Corey, I believe this may be Riley McGill's first punt tonight. I'm going to look over here with Matt Moore and check. But if that is that Davidson's first punt, and he agrees, the first time Davidson has punted the ball tonight.
Well, when you're leading 45-19, you just don't want to get caught looking at the clock if you're defense. You want to make sure that you're continuing to make textbook tackles, that you're continuing to play a good, clean defensive game, and you don't want to look at the scoreboard. You just want to make sure that you're holding the Jaguars on their last possession. They were able to sustain a nice drive and be able to put points on the board, and this defense of Davidson now has to rise up to the occasion.
Kevin Porter leads the Jaguars onto the field. Once again, great field position. This series is going to start at the 49-yard line of Davidson. On their last drive, they scored starting from the 41. This young man has a couple scores tonight. Timothy Gray runs out of bounds for about 1 or 2 yards. Second down and long coming up.
Defense stands up firm on that down right there. 2nd and 7. You'll take the 3 yards if you're Hillcrest. So we'll see how fast they're able to get to the line of scrimmage.
Credited with 3 yards. Porter's going to keep it, takes it out the belly of the back. Almost wrapped up, but not wrapped up. Once again, another missed tackle. And look at Porter showing his explosive capability as he gets into maybe the red zone. Let's see, maybe he stepped out at the 25. We'll see where they mark it at.
It is definitely going to be a first down. You see the O-lineman getting ready to get on top of the football. The tempo is right where you want it to be. And, again, critical for Davidson to be ready and make sure that they're wrapping up.
That defense not ready. Kevin Joseph with the run. The defense was not ready. They were on their heels, Corey. And Joseph is going to do a tumble into the end zone. 25-yard touchdown run for Kevin Joseph. Davidson's defense literally was not set when that ball was snapped.
That tempo really affected him. Kevin Joseph with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening. This one right here of over 25 yards goes ahead and blows off the defender with a nice sidestep and, again, finds his way to tumble into the end zone for 6 and does it one more time for good measure. And Matt Moore, our great statistician, let us know that's his 2nd rushing touchdown.
Kevin Joseph finally gets the PAT to go in after he scores right there. 45-26. Don't forget, coming up later on, the game of the week, Brain Buster will reveal that question. to our buddy Corey LeBound and let him ponder and think about it here. So it'll be coming up later on. So stick around for that, our Game of the Week Brain Buster. And Corey, we have the window open here in the press box, and I don't know if that's the scent of hamburger or Kaneka, but I smell the burning of the meat.
Absolutely.
I smell it, Corey.
The concession stands, the wind is blowing in our direction. The little breeze that is coming this way lets you know that the concession stands are fired up and working here on the campus of Davidson High School. Now, as far as if you're the Warriors defense, John Williams being and talking to his defense on the sidelines, I know that he's not pleased with the way his defense has been playing in these back-to-back possessions, because when you get caught looking at the scoreboard, sometimes you don't wrap up and you have a lot of missed tackles that you weren't missing earlier. So that's something I know my good friend John Williams will go ahead and clean up.
Let's see if Hillcrest will go for another onside kick.
The way that ball's lined up on that tee, you would think.
Butler not in the ball game right now. Terrence Gray with the return up to the 40. Great return. I don't know if that's a late hit out of bounds, and there's the flag. So while they're talking about it, let's take a look at that scoring summary. Hillcrest just capitalized on only 3 plays, less than 30 seconds, and you can see the tempo after that 25-yard touchdown run by Kevin Joseph. They used that 49 yards pretty quick.
Well, we talked about Hillcrest defense needing to get off the field. Well, now Davidson's offense needs to sustain a drive here to give their defense a rest.
Hey, leg out of box.
So it was a late hit, as you saw it, Corey. That's going to be a free 15 coming up for the Warriors, which will put them in Jaguars territory as we approach our next heat timeout coming up at 6 minutes. So we'll see if they'll call it after this particular play. Derek Butler not in the ball game right now. Terrence Gray in the backfield just to the right of Hudson Spivey. Hand off to Gray. He is met at the line of scrimmage by a few Jaguars, especially number 11, Jameer Sharp, one of your threaded fasteners impact players.
You have to stay home there. They're really buckling down on this run game, and at some point in time, Davidson definitely needs to convert here on this drive.
Toss to DJ Butler. They bring him in. Look, he's pointing directions for a block here, as he is tackled and pushed out at the 20-yard line. He's like instant offense, Corey.
He really is, and the young man trying to surpass the 1,400-yard rushing mark, and he's letting people know, look, you block him, I'll stiff arm him, directing traffic as you mentioned. Burst on the scene as a sophomore, 690 yards and 8 touchdowns when he was a sophomore, and it's going to be one of the first few injuries that we've had. The trainers haven't had to be extremely busy tonight, but as humid it is, it's not hard to cramp up.
Kendrick Richardson caught the cramp, so while we got a break at 6:11, I don't know if we're going to try to get up the Brain Buster question right now or we'll wait till the heat timeout, but we shall see. Let's put it up. Bring it on up, Miss Diane. All right, Corey Bounty, here we go. Tonight, Davidson honored their only undefeated regular season team, the 2005 Warriors. What former Davidson coach ended that team's playoff run? Think about it. Ponder it. Don't check your social media. Don't use the internet.
Where's my multiple choice, brother? What's up with that, man?
No multiple choice. We're starting off. We're kind of getting to seeing where you are, Corey. You know, we're doing assessments here at the start of the season to see where you're. I said, what's up the multiple choice, brother?
Man, I'm just missing my multiple choice. That's really what I'm missing.
What's your favorite? C for Corey. So there's the Brain Buster question. Think about it. I will give you a hint. Don't think long about it. Just go with your first mind. Go with your first mind. Let's take a break. We'll come back. I think they may be giving us the heat timeout right here. So we'll take a break and come back. Bring you more action from the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
You know that missing 2 days of school per month
has a negative effect on student achievement.
and that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
Yes, attendance does matter, and attending right now, Derek Butler, 21-yard score on the run. Corey, he came in instant offense. He's carried the ball the last 2 plays, and Davidson has scored again.
Got a little breather with Terrence Gray coming in early in the 3rd quarter, but here after Hillcrest gets on the board with a couple of touchdowns, what do? You let the Butler do it, and the Butler has done it once again. Seeks, bobs, and weaves to his hole, scores another touchdown for the Davidson Warriors, his 4th touchdown of the night. And again, that's why he's our threaded fasteners impact player. You look at him being able to make a spotlight. The spotlight is really all on him, and this young man is one of the best, if not the best, running back in the state of Alabama. Our good friend Ben Thomas at AL.com did a feature on Derek on yesterday, mentioning, is he one of the most underrated backs in the state of Alabama? Without a question, he's one of the most underrated backs in the state of Alabama. Verbally committed to Coastal Carolina, but folks, when I tell you that this young man, when he burst on the scene with us here on the MCPSS television network, you knew that he was going to be special. Rick Cawley has always sung high praises of Derek Butler, but he's been a tremendous ambassador for Davidson High School. And again, this young man really understands what it means to enjoy high school, as he's a baseball, basketball, and football superstar here, as evident tonight.
His 4th touchdown of the night, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air, 16 carries for 174 yards so far. Look at Butler go.
Just picks his spot. Once he makes one defender miss, he knows exactly what that means. The Butler makes house calls, folks.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what he's been able to do.
I thought the Butler was already in the house call.
Hey,
so
look.
How can he make the house call?
I tell you what, when Davidson dials him up, he is in the building for sure.
He's in the house for sure. I agree with you on that one. Wow, 6:02, and I believe maybe possibly this might be the Heat timeout that they are going to recognize. Taking a look at the faithful as the Warriors run out onto the field, putting together. If you want to say this is how you win your home opener, Corey, this is how you do it. Up 52-26 right now. They have doubled up Hillcrest.
Now Davidson's defense has to find a way to answer this question. They were able to come away with a relatively easy stop last time, so we'll see if the adjustments have been talked about and made by defensive coordinator John Williams. Again, having 5 returners on this defensive squad, and I know that in talking to his team, he said, look guys, we want to show up and show out defensively as well.
The kick from McGill, brought in by Gray, up to the 25. Wrapped up and tackled right at about the 30 or 31-yard line, as the Jaguars will come out on the field down 26 right now to the Davidson Warriors, returning the favor. Hillcrest won this game, as we said earlier, 34-10 last year when Davidson went up the road. So the return trip down for the Jaguars not actually up to what they thought would probably be happening. And last year, Davidson averaged 23.8 points on offense. So they have basically doubled up their offensive output tonight, putting up 52. First to 10 for the Jaguars at the 31. Hand off to Joseph. He picks up a couple, takes them to 2nd down.
Well, the defense really has to rise to the occasion as the clock continues to run. You don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard. You just want to tackle up and make sure that you're in your gaps and have great gap integrity as you get a good look at Chad Glover peeking into the backfield of the Hillcrest offense.
2nd and 7 coming up. Back to Joseph they go for a few more. Ball comes out, but he is down by contact. That's not a fumble. So 3rd down here for the Jaguars.
Another 3rd down here for Hillcrest-Evergreen. Nothing new for the coaching staff and Justin Narrett. And when you look at this Hillcrest-Evergreen going tempo, they're going to try to pick up 5 yards on this running play.
Porter rolls out to the left. Has a guy. Picks up the 1st down and a little more for Hillcrest.
Kevin Joseph, the running back that normally gets the football, great job of scrambling outside of the pocket, finding your wide open wide receiver. Plenty of time for Porter to go ahead and roll the correct way outside of the pocket and picking his wide receiver, and yards after contact is what's important here for Duke Watson. And if you look at a fresh set of downs, tempo again by the Jaguars.
Running it right up the middle, Timothy Gray. Past the 45-yard line of Davidson as the offense continues to move for the Jaguars.
You have to go fast and you have to go with tempo if you're Hillcrest, because you want to make sure that you have an opportunity to cut into this deficit.
Second down with that carry. It's close to the sticks. I believe that should be enough to pick up the 1st down, and the chain gang is on the move. Corey, I did a little digging. The last time Davidson put up 50 points in a ball game, you have to go back to 2016 when they defeated Jackson 50-49.
Nice explosion to open up again this stadium, and you have to make sure defensively that you're continuing to make sure you don't get beat deep. And we haven't seen the home run ball being thrown by the Jaguars. They're just doing a good job of running routes to the stick and turning around and making sure that that completion is there. Another great set of downs here as far as from a drive standpoint by this Hillcrest-Evergreen squad.
2nd and 10. Porter some play action right across the middle. Jordan Bonner, but he is leveled by the Warriors. Trey Clark on that tackle, Corey.
Absolutely love when you're able to lay the lumber, and when you're able to finish a wide receiver that way. A nice tag team by Trey Clark III and Aaron Hill, but great concentration by the Jaguars receiving it.
Heat on Porter. He rolls out to his right. He has Gray wide open. I believe his momentum carried him and made the aim of that ball off. Gray could have just tumbled into the end zone easily for a score, but could not bring it in. 2nd and 10, headed your way for the Jaguars.
Well, the clock does stop with 2:47 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of action, 52-26. Our score in favor of the Davidson Warriors in their nice black and gold uniforms.
Big run by Joseph as he is tagged on the play right there by Aaron Hill.
So what you are seeing is Nick Perkins get into the backfield, but it's not a game of tag. You have to break down, fundamentally sound, and make that tackle. He's in the backfield ready to make the tackle, but just doesn't do the small things fundamentally to get that tackle for loss.
3rd and 4 here for the Jaguars, trying to keep the drive alive. Flag on the play. That may be a false start. One of the officials indicated with the arms.
Dead ball.
That's going to push the Jaguars back 5 yards so they shoot themselves in the foot, Corey.
False start on the offense.
They go from 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 9 now.
Yeah, it's very important when you look at being able to have success when you're not penalized, how that changes the play calling ability. We'll see if they roll out of the pocket here and run a receiver past the sticks.
Looks like a hitch and go, but it took too long for that to develop, and I believe the quarterback did not fall for it. But speaking of falling, a flag has fallen at about the 19-yard line of Davidson. A lot of penalties going on tonight.
I know that, you know, when you look at the Davidson Warriors, probably in this new stadium, not sure if they got new washers and dryers or not, but the flags can definitely be washed away. It's not raining, so they're not going to get dirty, but they sure have been on the ground a lot tonight.
They sure have. They sure have. Davidson declines the penalty, so it'll be 4th and 9 coming up here. Hillcrest in no man's land. So they'll be going for it. And the Jaguars thought Davidson had accepted the penalty to push him back, but the line of scrimmage never changed. They just ran up to the line. Porter with the throw. Bounces off the receiver, intended receiver Jordan Bonner, and that is ball over on downs as the Davidson Warriors defense holds.
Well, when you do hold a tremendous stance for this Davidson Warriors team, one that they desperately needed, and I say desperately because what you've done here is you've created a self-confidence. You've gotten that big lead. Now you don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard. You give your offense an opportunity to come out here and sustain a nice drive. I don't know if they'll go with number 9 again so he can continue to put back big numbers.
He goes out on the wheel route, and Spivey is sacked for a loss, a big loss of about 10 yards.
Great pressure from this Hillcrest-Evergreen defense, and if we're able to look at that, you'll definitely see that Hudson Spivey didn't have anyone to throw it to because he was covered up. A great job of coming from his blind side, and that looked to be Kobe Hunter, the 5'10", 175-pound sophomore, getting credit for that pressure.
On the run, DJ Butler picks up a big gain, takes the pressure off of the Warriors right here coming up 3rd down. He got a lot of that back, so we'll call it 3rd and about 6 coming up for the Warriors.
3rd and 6, Al, you want to protect your quarterback, and if you want to run a play that is passing the football, you want to make sure that you give your quarterback time to complete it.
Low snap to Spivey, rolls out to his left, throws against his body, incomplete. He was trying to connect with Terrence Gray, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is 4th down.
And we still have 44.7 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter of action.
And I'm pretty sure Coach Rick Cawley did not envision that series going that way. He is definitely disappointed because you don't want to give an opportunity for a team. Yeah, they're down 26 points, but, Corey, we haven't hit the 4th quarter yet.
Yeah,
there's plenty of time remaining in the ballgame.
Absolutely, and you want to have a clean punt right here if you're the Davidson Warriors, and if you're Hillcrest, you want to use your speed to get an even better return.
McGill with the punt. Punt is somewhat bobbled. Return to about the 41-yard line with 33.2 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Al Whedon, Corley Bounty, Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines. Our statisticians, Shauna Powell and Matt Moore, hanging out with us, giving you the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week, the first game inside of Warrior Stadium, as you said earlier, on the campus of Davidson High School. So here come the Jaguars once again. Kevin Porter at quarterback. Hand off to Timothy Gray as he plows up to about the 45-yard line.
Now, you mentioned the history of Hillcrest-Evergreen's state championship pedigree. 2017 state champs, as you mentioned earlier, and Hillcrest was 51-1 since 2000 when allowing less than 10 points. Didn't have to worry about that coming out of the first quarter as Davidson was able to pile up quick points early in the contest.
That run takes Hillcrest up to the 45. So it'll be 1st and 10 coming up here with 1.2 seconds, and with the ball ready to play, that's going to take us to the 4th quarter. And it's time to reveal our answer to the Game of the Week Brain Buster. So we'll get the question up and share it once again. All right, Corey, tonight Davidson honored their only undefeated regular season team, the 2005 Warriors. We saw all that unfold before we started our telecast. He brought up a bunch of the players. What former Davidson coach ended that team's playoff run that year in 2005?
He is my good friend, and I'm going to say this with confidence, Glenn Vickery.
All right, let's reveal the answer and see what it is. And Corey, you're correct. Glenn Vickery coached Davidson from 2000 to 2003, and he ended their playoff run. Here's your +1, Corey. Daphne went to the championship game that year. What former Mobile area coach did Coach Vic lose to in the championship game? There's your +1.
Man, I think it might have been some guy named Rush Probst.
Ding, ding, winner, winner, chicken dinner. They lost to Hoover in the championship game here. Good job. See, you didn't need multiple choice, Corey. Come on.
Glenn Vickery, I want you to go back and look at this, my brother. You're my good friend, and I would never forget a Davidson Warrior coach that took this team to new heights before another coach came behind you. But I will say this. You know, Glenn Vickery's one of those guys, when he was at Daphne, did a tremendous job winning the state champ. He got payback against Hoover.
He did.
And ultimately got over that hump, too. So,
But what he kind of started and laid the groundwork, because Davidson went on a long playoff run.
They really did.
After Coach Vick, and then Coach Riley came in, and Sean Smith for a year, and now Rick Cawley. But they had a long run there for playoff consistently, kind of like teams we think of like Blunt and Viger. We look for them in the playoffs. They went through a long period.
And the thing that I love about Glenn Vickery, he's just been having a lot of respect everywhere he's coached. And the Jaguars are trying to earn the respect of this Davidson Warrior team by not quitting. And we heard at halftime, Coach Justin mentioned it. Look, my team's not going to quit. We're going to look at the scoreboard. We're going to continue to scratch and claw, and they're on the ball, quickly making moves against this Davidson Warrior defense.
Timothy Gray up the middle, trying to take it to the house if he can, but the Warriors not letting him in the end zone. Flags come out near the end of that play. Let's see if it was a little extracurricular, possibly a face mask on that run that Gray just provided. White hat. Mr. B looking to get the explanation from his other officials. I will say this, Corey, our officials have definitely earned their paycheck tonight.
Without question, I think all of them have had at least a turn dropping it.
5 yards.
Inadvertent face mask right there. It's not the big one. It's only the 5 yard, but I believe that may be a half the distance to the goal penalty where Hillcrest is located right now. So they're going to spot this ball on the 2 yard line. This is almost like a 2-point conversion play, if you want to call it.
We'll see what they're able to come away with right here.
Well,
more whistles.
Pre-snap penalty.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
And we typically see a lot of that at the beginning of the season. False start penalties. So that'll push the Jaguars back 5 yards, turning into 1st and goal from the 7. Shot of the Davidson Warriors sideline right there. Joseph with the carry. Keeps the legs churning as he plows inside of the 5. possibly back to the original line of scrimmage.
The Jaguars continuing to scratch and claw. They're going to look for the signal coming from the sidelines. And again, Coach Justin does a great job along with my good friend DJ Darowich, who is a state championship coach coming over from Satsuma to join the staff here at Hillcrest-Evergreen.
Up the middle goes Porter with that quarterback keeper designed right for him. He takes it up the hole and scores. Hillcrest not giving up. 10-18 remains in the ball game.
No quit in this Jaguar program. Decides to pull it out of the gut. That's one of those RPOs that are hard to struggle with, and Porter decides to pull it and walks in the end zone and scores 6 more for the Jaguars.
Joseph P.A.T. is good. His last 2 have been good. As the Jaguars creep closer, 52-33 is our score.
High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we are learning today and leading tomorrow. And this year, the theme is #Aim for Excellence. That's something both of these teams are trying to do tonight. Davidson on top, 52-33. Corey, I was looking over some of my notes. The last time Davidson went more than 4 seasons without a playoff appearance, you have to go back to 1990 to 2000, an entire decade drought. Warriors haven't been to the playoffs in 4 years, so with this output tonight, could this be a sign of a new direction? And DeMarcus George takes the direction we like to call it north and south as he penetrates into Jaguar territory with that kick return.
That's exactly what you have to do. Plant your foot in the turf, and you get going north and south. Shows tremendous burst as he fields this kickoff very cleanly. Good job of setting up a wedge by the special teams group. Right there, he changes direction. Whoop, whoop. Makes a couple of moves, and he spins around and gains additional yardage. Now we'll see if Davidson's able to capitalize offensively. There's a penalty flag.
I hear whistles everywhere.
Hey, I tell you what, the Butler has shown that he's also quite worthy of his acting skills.
Right. Oh, an Oscar-winning performance right there from the young man.
Red ball, illegal substitution on the white team.
And you can see him smiling and chuckling, Corey. So legal substitution penalty called against, we would call that when my twins were younger, the rollover. Just roll over, roll over.
And I will say this too, what a phenomenal game between 2 MCPSS schools being played in Pritchard, Alabama in the debut of Biger Stadium as well.
Okay.
19-18 is the score, 3:16 remaining.
And who's up?
Looks like Biger is winning.
That was a big game last year that BC Rain knocked them off on a Thursday night, Corey. It was the only game in town. DJ Butler with the carry. Turns the corner at the 35. Puts that head down and turns on the Jets. Picks up a couple. Not enough for the first down. He may have stepped out of bounds. So 2nd and short coming up here for the Warriors. Butler cuts behind that line of scrimmage, and he takes it to the house, 34 yards. Derek Butler, Corey, let's see, well, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. His 5th score, but will it stand? Because I see a flag on the far side.
Well, where is your white hat going to run to and assess to see where the penalty flags are? And that's the biggest question mark that we do have so far here. I see the white hat saying, Mr. B saying, let's wait, let's hold up and see what we have before we kick this extra point, because we do have to assess the dirty laundry that is on the field.
If the play stands on that replay, you could see Butler once again pointing, block here, give me my lane, and just let me shoot through.
The most underrated back in the entire state of Alabama, folks, is who we are watching tonight at Davidson High School's brand new stadium. The Butler did it again and again and again and again and again. He's going to get credit for that touchdown as well.
PAT is up, and it is good. Davidson all on top, 59-33. Watch the Butler do it.
I'm Keith Blackwood, your Mobile County District Attorney. I want to remind you about the truancy laws. 5 unexcused absences requires you to attend the early warning truancy program. Failure to attend the early warning truancy program can cause you to appear before a judge in circuit court. We need you to stay in school. This is a serious law, and it needs to be taken very seriously. I wish you and your family a safe, happy, and successful school year.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Got to thank Firehouse Subs. Make sure you enjoy more subs and save more lives at the same time. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So visit our friend Neil Patel at the Green Light Road Firehouse Subs location. Also got to thank BSN Sports for the gear. If you want to get gear for your team, they have it from badminton to wrestling and all the sports in between. Visit them online at bsnsports.com. Derek Butler putting on quite a performance tonight, Corey. We're going to get the stats updated on him and get his information up. He's our spotlight player, and when we put this up, you'll see why he's our spotlight player tonight.
It's not even close to who the best back in the Mobile-Baldwin County area is.
Fair caught by the Jaguars at about the 24-yard line. So here's the latest on the Butler, who's actually doing it tonight. 19 carries for 219 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns, Corey, 4 on the ground, and he even threw one.
It doesn't matter how you want him to do it, because he's even on special teams, and given an opportunity to hit the crease, he'll hit one on special teams. But this young man is special. Rick Cawley called him out his sophomore year and said, Corey, look, I want you to watch this young man, and he's going to be one of the best backs I have ever coached in my entire career. And he's proven that to be so, coming into his senior season, opening up the 2023 contest with over 200 yards rushing. And I was joking with his parents before the game. I said, I would love to see 7 touchdowns tonight out of DJ Butler. And he's 2 away from giving me exactly what I wanted, but it's easy to where when you know and you see something special in Derek Butler, he just has that it factor. He is the guy for the Davidson Warriors that can get it done.
Porter with the carry, picks up a couple of yards there as he keeps it. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Jaguars. As you see the scores crawling across the ticker right there. Baker gets the payback on Wetumpka. Corey, we had that game last year, and Wetumpka came out of nowhere and upset the Hornets at home last year. I remember that.
2-0, Steve Norman, big win over Theodore last week, and now having a big win on the road in Wetumpka, setting up a big-time matchup with these Davidson Warriors next week as well.
That's going to be a nice ball game next week as both teams will open up region play in 7A Region 1. Pass out to Bonner, puts that foot in the ground, plants and cuts back, picks up a couple more yards. That's first down. The chains are going to move.
This is more reminiscent of a basketball score. We've seen basketball on grass tonight, folks. 59 to 33. That's kind of what you see if you're Jose Diaz, the boys basketball coach here at Davidson. You're like, man, 59 points by the football team. I want to average that for my basketball program as well.
Run right up the middle for the Jaguars.
Here's the biggest factor, Al, in Derek Butler being successful. The entire offensive line returned for the Davidson Warriors program. And when you can have an entire O-line return, Ethan Franklin, Sean Martin, Ben Spector, William Benjamin, Cam Mitchell, all returning up front, making that big difference for Rick Cawley and opening up those huge holes for Derek Butler along with Terrence Gray, because Terrence Gray has done a great job coming in for spot relief of Derek Butler tonight also.
Sure has. First and 10 coming up here for the Jaguars. Ball on the 39, continuing to run right up the middle. There he goes, Timothy Gray. That's a 39-yard score for Timothy Gray and the Jaguars.
Well, they are extremely quick and fast. We saw the relay team at Liger last week be state champions. Well, look at this. The Red Sea parts right up the gut in the middle, untouched, is Timothy Gray. And Timothy Gray, I think that is his third rushing touchdown of the night, and he is probably well north of 100 yards himself rushing the football.
I believe you're right, Corey. I believe I have him down for 3 as well, and the PAT is good. One official says it is, and one official abstains.
159 is what Timothy Gray has rushed for tonight. As you can see, the extreme speed. He crossed the goal line without question. He's
Just
across.
one.
Yeah, he's across with, and when you look at the speed that Coach talked about at the beginning of the week with us as we were doing our pregame homework, he said, look, the overall team speed by his Jaguars offense and defense are going to be critical here in 3A Region 1. Now, again, you mentioned it multiple times tonight. This is a 3A Hillcrest-Evergreen squad taking on a 7A Davidson Warriors squad. And why do you do that? Because, again, it gets you prepared for what you're going to see with region play. And Coach Cawley, he's playing this game because it's hard for a 7-team region to find those 3 additional games to fill out your schedule.
One of those things. Good shot right there, Terrence Gray for Davidson. So, Corey, we have made history by having the ball game here on the campus at Davidson High School, but the Warriors have made history. They have eclipsed the most points ever scored in a ball game. Back in 2005, they put up 56 points. So tonight they have eclipsed that by putting up 59 against the Jaguars in that ball game when they played. It was against the Baker Hornets when they routed them 56-6 back in 2005.
Isn't it ironic that we are honoring the 2005 Davidson Warrior program in pregame as they were the first undefeated squad in the history of this Davidson Warrior program, and now it is. Here you look when the 05 team is here watching you play. They probably don't even know that they were just eclipsed from a scoring standpoint. But as the time continues to roll on with 6:43 remaining here in the fourth quarter of action, Davidson still having an opportunity to add to that point total tonight.
To add even more. Spivey still in the ball game. We don't see DJ Butler on the field right now. Gray is out there as they toss it to him. Cuts back, picks up a couple. Clock continues to run. second down coming up for the Warriors.
And one of the things, if we can go back and look at this replay tonight when the Davidson Warriors are running this pitch play, it's almost like a chest pass being thrown like you would in basketball. It's not your traditional sweep to where you underhand toss the football. It's almost him pushing it from his chest. That's hard to do, folks. The biggest thing when you are pitching the football, whether it's from the chest or scooping it out, to go ahead and toss it to make sure that it is a great toss. And we've not had any problem with the quarterback to running back pitch play tonight.
5:58, it's our last heat timeout of the ball game. We're going to take a break. More action headed your way for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, I'm Katrina Frazier.
And I'm Deborah Robinson, and we would like to be your next realtors. As homeowners, we know how confusing it can be searching to find that perfect home that fits your needs and budget.
For that reason, it's important to have a reliable partner to represent you and to be there for every step of your home buying process. You'll find the services offered through Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services Cooper & Company Realtors are second to none.
So whether you are buying or selling your home, call us today and let our experience work for you.
Davidson all in control tonight, up 19 points over Hillcrest-Evergreen. 59-40 is our score. As we just shared with you, they've set a new scoring mark, most points ever scored in a ball game tonight, eclipsing the 56-point mark from the undefeated season of 2005, undefeated regular season. And as you said, Corey, very ironic, they honored that team tonight when they opened up the stadium. So what a way to go into the record books on the first game. We're just going to beat your score, guys.
Well, I will say this. The Davidson Warriors in that 05 undefeated regular season, the Davidson Warriors have an undefeated regular season going.
Currently, if things hold the way they are, it would be. They would chalk up a victory tonight. So we shall see as things unfold. Terrence Gray with the carry takes Davidson to third down. Clock ticking under 6 minutes here at Warrior Stadium. And one thing we haven't commented on, Corey, and it's been obvious right in front of our face, not only do they play football here, they also play soccer.
Yeah,
as you see, the field is marked for soccer as well.
All the MCPSS programs and the new stadiums are lined for soccer also, so it's a great multi-purpose facilities that have been built not only for soccer. You can hold your middle school contest here also. So again, when you look at keeping the concessions and the parking all within your own campus, it's something that's going to benefit all of these MCPSS schools. As you saw LaFleur open up against Chickasaw with a nice home crowd. This week you see Viger at home and you see Davidson at home as well. You have to love the multi-purpose facilities.
Timeout called by Davidson. Almost like basketball, you said earlier, looks like a 30-second timeout because the offense is now running back on the field. So I think Coach Carley just wanted to talk to him right quick. So ball's being spotted, ready for play. Fourth down and short coming up here as Riley McGill goes back to punt for the Warriors. High snap for McGill. And he places it away from the Jaguars, goes out of bounds at the 22. First and 10 coming up for Hillcrest at their 22-yard line. Decent crowd came down to support the Jaguars as we look on the opposite side of the field. And also one thing we see, Corey, is the traffic on Michael Boulevard as well from our vantage point here atop Warrior Stadium. Porter still in the ball game at the helm, down 19 points, under 5 minutes to play. Bonner lined up in the slot for the Jaguars, uncovered right now Porter doesn't see it. So he's going to have to block for Porter. Does not lead a block, but Corey, he was wide open, uncovered. If they had ran a hot route or had a signal or something, could have connected with Bonner.
What you are seeing is the clock continue to run, not the friend of the Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguars late here in the fourth quarter.
You're right about that. First and 10 from the 35. They throw it out to Bonner. Incomplete. They were trying to set up the screen for him. Stops the clock at 4:21. Takes us a second down with the Jaguars. Joseph with the carry, bounces off a couple of Warriors, keeps the legs going. He crosses the 45-yard line up to the 46. Another first down for Hillcrest.
They're going to continue to come at you, Al, as they're not going to give up. Davidson's just got to wrap up to go ahead and keep them behind the sticks down and distance-wise.
Flag on the play near the Hillcrest sideline.
Red ball, illegal substitution.
We've had that penalty called against Hillcrest earlier tonight. So they'll push them back 5 yards. First and 15 now for the Jaguars at their own 41-yard line. Joseph with the carry. Breaks it outside as he's wrapped up. Picked up about 4 or 5. Gets just inside of the original line of scrimmage, maybe 7 on the carry. So second down here coming up for Hillcrest. And one thing I will commend them on, Corey, they have definitely fought the fight tonight. They've not given up at all.
So many multi-sport athletes here on the field for both of these teams, but you're absolutely right. At Flomaton next week, Hillcrest-Evergreen jumps right back into region play.
About this time, normally, Corey, I'll ask you, who are you considering or thinking about for the Career Tech Education Player of the Game? But without a doubt, I will withdraw that question and ask the jury to disregard the statements from the attorney, and we'll just say it right now. We can just go ahead and give that one to DJ Butler tonight.
Earlier, I gave you a pop quiz, and the pop quiz was, who was Coach Carley going to give the football to on a certain down and distance situation? It's, again, it's not a pop quiz. I don't need a multiple choice answer. You already know which way you're going to go. As we have a Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguar being tended to on the far sidelines. As you can see, the Jaguars take a knee. But, folks, DJ Butler is that dude. He's so special, and his versatility. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's thrown for a touchdown. He's rushed for multiple touchdowns. Just showing his tremendous grit, his tremendous passion for this game of football. And Coastal Carolina is where he's verbally committed to right now. It'll be interesting to see here on signing day, whether it's the early signing day in December or the late signing day in February, whether the Chanticleers are actually going to be able to put his name on the dotted line. Because to me, he is an all Sunbelt Conference performer, but he has the ability to play in the SEC. He's that SEC type back, if you ask me.
And Corey, it's not literally, pardon the pun, written in stone until you sign. So you can verbal commit, but with performances like this, that's going to really bring some more attention to Mr. Butler.
It's going to continue to bring attention to him. As a junior, he was an all-state performer in 7A, and really just all-state performance back. When you rush for over 1,338 yards, you can see why. And this year, I want to say if he stays healthy, he'll surpass the 1,338 yards. Last year, 184 rushes, for 1,338 yards, 16 touchdowns. His long was 64. He also added 12 receptions for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. I know he plays basketball, he plays baseball. Here on this turf and really on grass as well, he's just fun to watch.
And keep this in mind, something Coach Carley told me, I didn't realize it.
On the right team.
When he was a sophomore, he rushed for 800 yards and still missed 4 games, Corey. So imagine if he had played in those 4 games as a sophomore.
And he scored 8 touchdowns as a sophomore.
So I mean, the kid is quite talented.
And again, last week, 194 yards and 3 touchdowns in just 1 half in a Jamboree versus Baldwin County. So that shows you the type of back and the type of ability he does have.
So at some point, we'll recognize it with the graphic, but I'm just going to say, it's, as we said at the church, by common consent, we'll just go ahead and make him the Career Tech Education Player of the game. No doubt about it. 5 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 4 on the ground, over 200 yards rushing.
What do you think the defensive strategy is going to be of the Baker Hornets next week?
Well, Coach Norman is a defensive guy pretty much for the most part.
5 yards.
But he and his crew, they're going to have to definitely do some homework and get themselves together. How can they shut Butler down?
They're going to load the box. They're going to load the box, and when you load the box, we'll see. It's going to matter. See if when they do load the box, how Hudson Spivey is able to respond as the young quarterback for the Davidson Warriors. But that's going to be a tremendous 7A Region 1 matchup. We're going to have 2 tremendous 7A Region 1 matchups next week. And
there it is, our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, Derek Butler, the Davidson Warriors. It's official because China Powell put it on there, our statistician core. So that's law. That's law right there.
It is, and China's law is in effect when she punches in those graphics and gets them into the truck. It's official when it comes up on your screen, as it just did, and well-deserving of Derek Butler, but he couldn't do it without his offensive line that was in front of him. So kudos to this Davidson offensive line, all returning to block for a future Mr. Football candidate possibly for the Davidson Warriors.
Porter running for his life right there on that play. 3rd down, he took a loss of about 2 yards. 3rd and about 14 coming up here for the Jaguars. As we said earlier, they have not given up the fight at all. Porter throws, his pass is complete. Short, it'll be 4th down coming up here for the Jaguars. Fourth down as we have eclipsed the 10 o'clock mark here, Corey, at Warrior Stadium. What a way to open it up. I might have to send a text to Rick Carley and say, did somebody hit the breaker box? I think the AC went out.
The timer.
It may have been on timer. Jordan Bonner hauls in the pass. That's enough for a 1st down. Nice pass right there from Porter. First and 10 coming up for the Jaguars. Officials timeout as Bonner is down on the ground. It looks like the cramps may have gotten him. It is quite humid tonight. Trainer's going to take a look at him. Continuing to take a look at Bonner as he is escorted off the field. So 1st and 10 coming up for the Jaguars. You see it right there scrolling. Next week, we're going to Viking land, Corey, as Foley versus MGM. That's going to be a top 10 matchup. MGM ranked 9, Foley ranked 10. 7A Region 1 opener for both of them.
Well, your defending 7A region champion is Derek Scott and the Foley Lions.
That's right.
And you look at the MGM Vikings starting 0-4 a year ago. They lost that heartbreaker to Foley a year ago.
Sure did, sure did.
At Foley as well. So Coach mentioned it today on my radio show. It's not called revenge.
It's called redemption.
It's the redemption
tour. Get your tickets now. He called it right, the redemption tour. As they started off 0-4, and then they ran off 6 in a row to make the playoffs in the number 4 slot last year. So
Sims, Alabama, Skull Vikings.
And one thing I can say, Corey, we've done a lot of games together. I always love going to Sims. It is always a great look. It is always fun. The community comes out. We just talked about it. There it is right there. MGM ranked number 9, Foley ranked number 10. It's a top 10 matchup early in the year, something we rarely ever get down here in 7A Region 1. Very rare.
It hasn't happened in a very long time.
I have to do some research on that one, but it's been a while.
You go back and you look at McGill-Tulane being bumped up to 7A and dropping down to 6A.
Right.
It had been a while since they had an opponent. I think it might have been Theodore that possibly was ranked there, but it had been a long time since we've seen it. Never has MGM been ranked in 7A, as that just came into effect some 8 or 9 years ago here in the AHSAA. So MGM on the cusp of history, have already made history, just don't want it to go in the wrong direction here. But a phenomenal game. Can't wait to broadcast that one from Sims.
Touchdown from Kevin Porter. Completes the pass to Omarius Northern. That is a touchdown.
Looks like a 23-yard
I
strike.
believe so. I'm checking the field for flags, but I don't see any. But as we said earlier, no give up in the Jaguars.
No, you're not going to see any. He just drops back and throws a ball on the money.
Look at the
Kevin
footwork.
Porter, and you're able to go ahead and make sure that you do get in. Porter with a money shot, and you look at the points scored.
Fake, Corey, fake. Joseph takes it right up the middle. The scrum, does he get credit? No. 59-46 our score.
Hillcrest-Evergreen averaging 20 points per game. They're going to add to that average. Defensively, they were giving up 26 points per game. They're going to add to that average as well.
And Corey, in the third quarter, at one point, the ball game was 52-26. Davidson had doubled up Hillcrest.
Well, Hillcrest and Coach Justin Naurit, he said it. No quit. He mentioned our Kimberly Dunn at halftime.
Right.
Look, we're not going to get caught looking at the scoreboard. It's a 4-quarter fight, and literally they meant this was going to go and be 48 minutes. Now, what you would see here, because you're able to go ahead and cut it to 13, is an onside kick evidently coming. And I just like the fact that.
And I see Derek Butler running on the field. You definitely want to get your good hands.
Yeah.
Got to have your good hands team out here.
You know, he's not going to go front line because you don't want him taking those excessive hits. But at the same time, you bet your bottom dollar again that Hillcrest-Evergreen is going to find a way to try to use this turf to its advantage. Now, this turf bounce is different than the natural grass.
Right. I see Anthony Rabb on the line. Also Quintarius Wheeler up front as well. Cam Metzner. So you got some good hands guys up there. It has to go 10 yards before the offense, at this point, Hillcrest-Evergreen can touch it.
Yeah, they attempted one earlier. They did not go 10.
They kick it deep to the Butler. He juggles it a bit, but downs it right there at the 25. So with 44.5 seconds remaining in the ball game, Davidson possibly trying to line up in a victory formation to pick up their first victory ever here at Warriors Stadium.
Would it be nice to say, look, we christened this stadium not only with the 05 undefeated team, we beat and superseded their score, and we're 1-0, more importantly, in our brand new home field, what you truly call home field advantage.
The officials stopping the play. I don't see any flags, but maybe they're counting. Is it too many men on the field? So maybe an inadvertent. I saw one of the officials kind of counting, Corey. So 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the 25. It's just a matter of running it once, running it twice, and letting the seconds tick off the clock on the way to victory for the Davidson Warriors. A game where, as you said it, Corey, they make history, setting a new most points scored in a game mark at 59, but most importantly, picking up the crucial first home win inside their new digs, their new stadium.
And able to do so in front of their former principal, Lewis Copeland, who threw the coin toss here at midfield. But 1-0, you're bringing in this brand new MCPSS stadium with the victory for the home team.
And what a ball game by DJ Butler. It wasn't his coming out party, but Corey, he definitely put his stamp on it and said, this is our house right here.
Had to do so. 59-46, our final. No quit in the Hillcrest-Evergreen Jaguars, but Rick Cawley and his staff putting everyone on notice that this is a team that has gelled and played together, took their lumps and bumps a couple of years ago because they were so young.
Correct.
But now that they've developed and they've played together so long, when you return an entire offensive line for an all-state performer such as Derek Butler, it makes a huge difference.
And something he told me when we talked the other day, this is his first full class. So he has had these guys since they were freshmen. So really putting his stamp on it, as you said, and carving out a niche. And you never know with the seniors in this group, they've come a long way, Corey. We've heard him talking at media days. Hey, guys, we're young. What's his favorite line? I don't have a feeder pattern. If you want to come to Davidson, come on. That's what he says.
That's exactly what he says and exactly what he means.
Yeah.
But he also mentioned at media days in the preseason about what it meant to him for DJ Butler to decide to return and to stay at Davidson High School and finish his high school career here as a Warrior.
You're so right about that. A lot of transferring going on here on the local level. You think the transfer portal is something in college. We've seen it happen this year in our own area. So for Butler to remain here and stay a Warrior, that is huge for this program.
And it's huge for the confidence of the offensive line, knowing if they execute that they have a back that they can trust in. And Rick Cawley, when you do have a workhorse like Derek Butler, you go ahead and you give it to him until someone stops it. And some 200 yards later and 5 touchdowns later, they still have not stopped. The Butler would still be running, would still be doing it if there was still time on the clock.
Yes, 5 touchdowns for him tonight, over 200 yards. The Butler served it up tonight, Corey. He definitely did.
What you want him to do? You want him to make house calls? He'll make those house calls in the point of 6 points every time he does come to your house, whether it's home or away. Derek DJ Butler, one of those guys that is very special here in the state of Alabama to watch.
All right, let's hear from the winning coach tonight, Rick Cawley.
Congratulations, Coach. What does this first win of the season mean for you and your team?
It's always good to get a win. I'm not real pleased with the way we played in the second half at all. You know, we kind of the intensity was not there, and I'm not happy about that. But they say you're supposed to be happy with wins, so we'll smile and move to the next one.
Now, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Al and Corey have been saying it through this last part of the game. You have the highest scoring game in the history of Davidson with 59 points, actually beating the 2005 team. So what does that say about this team that you have?
I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't pay much attention to that kind of stuff. I mean, it's good for the kids. You know, we had a good offensive showing, but, you know, I don't know. We got to put some things together, but that's a cool thing.
Yeah, well, my last thing for you, we've been saying this name a lot tonight, DJ Butler. What can you say about this young man? He played phenomenally tonight, getting 5 touchdowns, 4 running, 1 in the air. What can you say about this young man?
There's nothing more you can say about him. He's a great kid, a great teammate, and he's a really good football player.
All right, well, I'll let you celebrate with your team, Coach. Thank you.
Wow, we stumped Rick Cawley. Look at there, Corey. He didn't know they set the record. Yeah, they do keep up with things like that, Coach. Next week, make sure you join us in Viking Land. It's Foley versus MGM, a top 10 matchup in week 3. Corey, that's going to be a huge ball game.
Looking forward to that huge 7A Region 1 matchup.
All right, thank you, Kimberly Dunn. Thank you, Corley Bounty. For Matthew Moore, China Powell, our statisticians, executive producer Quentin Howard, engineer Fran Conaway, director Wade Ford, on the audio Eric Lowe, and our replay guy Charles Martin. We thank you for joining us tonight. Davidson sets a record, scoring 59 points, the most ever in a ball game. Have a great Labor Day weekend. We'll see you in Sims next Friday night.